Chapter 2107. Is the head of the hidden house Han here? The first match of the day is about to begin. Head Han, please bring the participants and the wager to the meeting room. The three of them were already very familiar with this procedure. If it had been other participating families, they might have been busy for a while. After all, every time they went out to participate they would be different. But for the hidden Han family, it was always these three who fought in every competition. They went all the way to the meeting room of House Zhao. Han Tianba registered Lin Yi's name, paid the wager and sat in his seat, waiting for Elder Zhao to announce the rules. Alright, since everyone is here, I'll introduce the first match of the day, the fight against each other. The fight against each other is very simple. The contestants stand here and get hit by people of Golden class, Mystic class, Earth class or Sky class. Whoever can take the highest level of attack wins. Elder Zhao said. Of course, if you don't have the ability, don't choose a level that's too high. As the saying goes, if you don't have the ability, don't do porcelain work. If you don't have the ability, you can't take responsibility if you die. Elder Zhao's words were clever, but it was a bit biased towards the Golden Bell sect. His hint was very obvious. This match was a diamond's dish. Those who didn't have the ability shouldn't even think about fighting, lest they lose their lives. This is a testing tool borrowed from an ancient sect. There's a roulette on it, and it can be adjusted to different strength levels, from the early phase of the Golden class all the way to the peak of the late phase of the Sky class. Every small strength level has a strict classification. Elder Zhao continued. It's still me, Elder Yu, and Elder Tang putting in chi to make this tool work. Of course, there's a strict level division on it, so there's no chance of cheating. In other words, if we don't put in enough chi, the tool won't work. If we put in too much chi, it'll be useless because the tool will still send out attacks of a set level, and the extra chi will be wasted. As for peak late-stage heaven rank, we don't have the ability to activate it, so you don't have to choose. Of course, this isn't the only choice. For example, if you choose the early phase of the Golden class and realize that you can tank it, you can choose a higher level. But I don't recommend everyone to do that. If you don't tank it, you'll take a certain amount of damage and use up a certain amount of stamina. It's not good for the future, so it's better for everyone to take advantage of it and choose a safe level. Furthermore, there's one more thing. You can't use any magical treasures or tools. Because he was criticized for temporarily increasing the pressure in the formation last time, Old Man Zhao was much more cautious this time. He mainly couldn't offend the Fire Wolf gang, let alone the Golden Bell sect. And the last one was added at the last minute to deal with Lin Yi. Lin Yi had gotten himself a set of low-grade golden cicada underwear. If he wore it, he would be invincible under the Earth rank. How could they let him wear it? Therefore, he directly banned the use of Dharma treasures and props, leaving Lin Yi to participate in the competition by himself. Not bad, this is fair. Han Xiaopa didn't find anything wrong with it after listening, so he nodded and said. As for Han Xiaopa, he didn't think that the ban on using Dharma treasures and props was added at the last minute. You may not win even if it's fair. This is using your own body to take the blow. If you choose wrongly, you will die in vain. Old Man Zhao said faintly, does anyone have any objections? No, let's begin. Lin Yi said faintly, as if this competition was set up for Lin Yi, which made Old Man Zhao very unhappy. However, he didn't pay attention to Lin Yi. In his opinion, Lin Yi was just showing off. How could Lin Yi win this competition? Lin Yi didn't have any external martial arts that could resist attacks. He even treated a set of low-grade golden cicada underwear as a treasure. What ability could he have to resist attacks? Okay, now, participants, please draw lots. Come and compete one by one according to the order you drew. Old Man Zhao said. After the participants heard Old Man Zhao's words, they all walked out to draw lots. Lin Yi looked at his lot, he was ranked 4th. I give up. The first person to go on stage was from the hidden Tang family. He didn't choose to test his rank, he directly gave up. This was the strategy that Old Man Tang had set before. This competition of resistance attacks was completely different from the previous endurance competition. In the endurance competition, if you couldn't hold on, you could withdraw. If you couldn't hold on, you would die. The hidden Tang family didn't have any martial arts that could resist attacks, nor did they have any good treasures that could resist attacks. Therefore, rather than choosing to take the pain of the yellow rank and still not winning, it was better to just give up. I give up too. The second person to go on stage was from the Qianshan sect. The Qianshan sect was a sect that raised spirit beasts. They didn't practice any resistance attacks at all. When they fought against others, they mostly used spirit beasts, so their individual strength wasn't very strong. I give up too. The third person to go on stage was from the Hidden House Pi. The Hidden House Pi had wanted to get the low-grade golden cicada underwear from the Golden Clock sect for this competition, but the treasure was taken by Lin Yi. How could they participate? Just because they had a strong fist didn't mean that their body could resist attacks. Plus, Old Man Zhao added a rule that they couldn't use treasures, which made Old Man Pi very happy. This Lin Yi had gotten a treasure for free but he couldn't use it. He'd probably die from anger, right? What he didn't know was that Lin Yi didn't even use the low-grade golden cicada underwear. That was something that Lin Yi brought back for someone else to use. It was something that had been worn by someone else, so Lin Yi had to clean it and disinfect it before using it. How could he wear it now? We, the Hidden House Zhuang, also give up. The Zhuang family walked around the stage and said the same. It could be seen that the disciples of the hidden houses weren't idiots. This kind of competition where one could easily get hurt or die, they all stayed away from it. And now it was Lin Yi's turn. This made Lin Yi depressed. Lin Yi wanted to see what rank the Golden Clock sect would choose so that he could increase it or keep it the same, but Lin Yi didn't think that he, the 5th place, would become the 1st place. Without a choice, Lin Yi walked up to the stage and looked at the options on the stage. I choose Earth Class Mid-Stage. Chapter 2108. As a result, Lin Yi wasn't worried about getting killed in one hit with just pure chi. Alright. Old Man Zhao nodded and set the roulette on the tool to mid-earth class. Then he said expressionlessly, "Stand still, we're going to instill true chi and activate the tool." "I'm ready," Lin Yi said. "Let's begin." With that, Elder Zhao placed his palm on the spot where the chi was channeled into the item, and Elder Yu, and Elder Tang placed their palms on the spot as well, channeling their chi at the same time. The progress bar on the item instantly reached Earth Class mid-phase, but it didn't increase anymore. In a split second, a huge arm shot out from the item, and with a loud bang, it hit Lin Yi's chest, sending him flying away. Lin Yi didn't resist because Lin Yi knew that the more he resisted, the more serious his injuries would be. It was better for him to fly away with the force of the attack. That way, even if he got hurt, it wouldn't be too serious. This attack really had the power of an Earth Class mid-phase. These ancient sect items were really strange, and Lin Yi couldn't help but be amazed. Although this attack had caused Lin Yi some internal injuries, it wasn't life-threatening. After landing, Lin Yi stood up, indicating that he wasn't dead yet. According to the rules of the competition, he had completed the Earth Class mid-phase test. Without saying anything else, Lin Yi quickly walked back to Han Tianba and Han Xiaopa's side. He closed his eyes and entered the Jade Space, starting to use the 2nd stage of the Art of Dragon Mastery to quickly heal himself. One had to say, the 2nd stage of the Art of Dragon Mastery was much faster than the 1st stage. "Boss, how are you?" Han Xiaopa was about to ask, but Han Tianba waved his hand to stop him. "Xiaopa, don't disturb Mr. Lin. He's resting," Han Tianba said. This was an Earth Class mid-phase attack. Although Lin Yi looked fine on the surface, Han Tianba knew that Lin Yi was only an Earth Class early phase peak. If it was him, he might not even be able to take it. The Hidden Han family's current attack resistance level is Earth Class mid-phase. Next contestant, come on up. Elder Zhao wasn't surprised that Lin Yi could take a mid-phase attack. In his mind, he had already classified Lin Yi's strength as Earth Class late phase peak. With Lin Yi's strength, it shouldn't be a problem for him to take a mid-phase attack. Earth Class mid-phase peak. The one who spoke was a disciple of the Hidden Yu family. Before he went on stage, he swallowed a medicinal pill. This was a medicinal pill that stimulated the human body's potential, similar to the energy pill in Jianghu. Although the competition said that treasures and tools couldn't be used, it didn't say that medicinal pills couldn't be taken. Therefore, the Hidden Yu family had an advantage. This medicinal pill could instantly increase the human body's resistance to attacks to the extreme. However, the side effects were also very obvious. If one couldn't take it, they could be crippled and unable to take care of themselves for the rest of their lives. Of course, this Yu family wasn't the core of the family. They were more like the underlings and were promised a lot of benefits. If they won or got into the top 3, they would naturally be given some rewards. Meridian unblocking pill and small rejuvenating pill were all prepared. To put it bluntly, even if they were beaten until they couldn't take care of themselves, they would be able to recover. However, if they couldn't get into the top 3, then there wouldn't be anything. To put it bluntly, it was a gamble. Earth Class mid-phase peak. This was already the limit of his limits. He himself was only an Earth Class mid-phase master. It was already very good to be able to take a blow from a master of the same level. Although this attack wasn't a martial arts technique but pure chi, it was also the limit to raise it by one stage. After all, not everyone was like Lin Yi, able to take a beating above his level and recover after being beaten. In the eyes of this Yu family, if he could take the challenge of this Earth-class mid-phase peak, his current opponents would only be the Golden Clock Clan and the Fire Wolf Gang. However, even if these two people were stronger than him, he could still get into the top 3. This risk was worth it. Okay. Old Man Zhao nodded after listening. He set the roulette on the tool to the peak of Earth-class mid-phase peak. He still said expressionlessly, "You better stand properly. We're going to instill Qi and activate the tool." "Ready?" said Yu family. "Let's begin." Old Man Zhao said and once again placed his palm on the instilling position of the tool. Old Yu, and Old Tang also placed their palms and activated their Qi at the same time. The progress bar on the tool instantly reached the peak of Earth-class mid-phase peak. The giant arm once again struck out from the tool. With a loud bang, the hidden Yu family member was sent flying just like Lin Yi before. The hidden Yu family member screamed and spat out a mouthful of blood after landing on the ground. However, he did not die. Instead, he stubbornly climbed up and limped towards the Yu clan's camp with a miserable expression. "Take this." Old Yu took out a normal healing pill and gave it to the hidden Yu family member. The hidden Yu didn't hesitate and swallowed it directly. This pill could only maintain his injuries. He also knew that the circulation pill and the meridian opening pill would only be given to him after the results were obtained. As for the heaven and earth elixirs, he had to go back and get them. He wasn't in a rush, so he sat on the side and closed his eyes to suppress his injuries. Hidden Yu family's current resistance level is Earth-class mid-phase peak. Next participant, please come on stage. Old Zhao announced after seeing that the hidden Yu family member didn't die. In this type of competition, as long as one didn't die on the spot, it was considered a victory. We, the hidden House Yu, choose to forfeit. The one who went on stage was House Yu. In the arena, the Firewolves and Golden Clock Sect's participants had already pulled up to Earth-class mid-phase peak. The hidden House Yu didn't think that he had such a high resistance level, so he wisely chose to forfeit under Old Yu's hint. Otherwise, it would be pointless even if he went up. We, the Firewolves, choose to forfeit. This time it wasn't the Firewolves who spoke, but Mingyue. As for the one who walked onto the stage, he still had a dull look in his eyes. After he walked onto the stage, he stood there motionlessly. Chapter 2109. Then he said expressionlessly, "Firewolves, stand properly, we're going to inject Qi and activate the item." "I'm ready." The one who spoke was Mingyue, not from the Firewolf gang. This situation made Lin Yi a little puzzled. These Firewolves were really strange, always with this kind of dull and lifeless expression. Where had he seen something like this before? But before Lin Yi could remember, the competition had started again. "Let's begin." After saying that, Elder Zhao placed his palm on the device again. Elder Yu, and Elder Tang placed their palms on the device as well, channeling their Qi at the same time. The progress bar on the device instantly reached the late phase of Earth class, and the giant arm came out of the device once more. With a loud bang, the Fire Wolf gang member was also sent flying. Thud. A loud sound was heard, and the Fire Wolf gang member fell to the ground. He was in a worse state than Lin Yi and the hidden House Yu. After all, Lin Yi and the hidden House Yu had some technique when they fell, and they didn't fall so abruptly. That was simply adding injuries on top of injuries. However, this Fire Wolf gang member didn't seem to care at all. After landing on the ground, he spat out a mouthful of blood, but he was still able to stand up. He staggered towards Mingyue. However, Mingyue gave an order to another follower of his, and this follower immediately brought him away from the competition venue. Lin Yi frowned, guessing that the Fire Wolves wouldn't be able to survive. But they didn't die on the spot, and even if Lin Yi wanted to find fault with them, Old Zhao would probably have an excuse, saying that it was human nature to die of old age and sickness. As long as they didn't die on the spot, it had nothing to do with the competition. So Lin Yi couldn't be bothered to argue with these people. Fire Wolves, the current resistance level is the late phase of Earth class. Next contestant, please come onto the stage. Old Man Zhao seemed to know the inside story and couldn't wait to announce the results of the competition. As for where the Fire Wolf gang went and what they did, he didn't care and pretended not to see them. Golden Bell Sect, late phase peak. This time, it was the last contestant to participate in the written exam, and also the most favored contestant in this competition. However, Lin Yi only looked at the Golden Clock Sect coldly. This guy used his practitioner's arts as soon as he got on. He was only a mystic early phase peak, but he was probably the trump card of the Golden Clock Sect. The Golden Bell Sect was a physical sect, and they practiced that kind of martial art. The weakness of this martial art was that the higher one went, the harder it got. Plus, they didn't have powerful arts or ancestors, so they weren't very strong. Using Mystic Late Phase Peak to challenge an Earth-class Late Phase Peak was completely relying on their physical training. Back then, Ma Zhu and Jin Wudi were the same. Their bodies were extremely resistant, and Lin Yi had to mutilate himself to even hurt Ma Zhu. All right. Old Man Zhao nodded and set the roulette on the tool to the peak of the late phase of Earth class. Then he said expressionlessly, "Stand still, we're going to instill Zhen Qi and activate the tool." Ready. The Golden Bell sect member said confidently. All right, let's begin. With that, Elder Zhao once again placed his palm on the Qi infusion point. Elder Yu, and Elder Tang also placed their palms on it, channeling their Qi at the same time. The progress bar on the item instantly reached the Earth-class late phase peak, and the giant arm struck out, landing on the Golden Bell sect's body with a loud bang. But this time it was different from Lin Yi and the others. After being hit by the arm, the Golden Bell sect member stood still and took the hit. He stood like a pine tree, not moving at all. It wasn't that he didn't want to use the force to fly out, but this was how the Golden Bell shield worked. He had to stay where he was and not move, otherwise the effect would be greatly reduced. So, in order to take the attack head-on, he had to grit his teeth and not move. Finally, the force dissipated and the Golden Bell sect member took it. But with a pft, he spat out a mouthful of blood. Evidently, the attack from the Earth-class late phase peak had exceeded his limits and caused him serious internal injuries. Although this attack wouldn't take his life and break his Golden Bell shield, he would need at least 3 to 5 years to recover. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to advance any further. But when he thought of Jin Gang's promise that as long as he won the championship, he would be allowed to use the Golden Bell sect's unique body tempering potion, his heart surged. So, even though he was injured, his heart was still happy, and he happily walked back to Jin Gang's side. The Golden Bell sect is currently the record holder for the highest level of resistance. Earth-class late phase peak. Are there any disciples from other families or sects who aren't satisfied and want to challenge them? Old Zhao asked after announcing the results of the competition. Han Xiaopa didn't expect that the disciples who went up next would all have higher levels of resistance, and that Lin Yi was already out of the top 3. This was something he didn't expect. Originally, he thought that even if Lin Yi didn't win, he would at least be in the top 3, right? But now he was actually in 4th place. Was he going to lose this competition just like that? Han Xiaopa wasn't willing to accept it. Of course, this kind of unwillingness stemmed from his blind trust and worship for Lin Yi. From his perspective, Lin Yi couldn't lose. Since he was participating, then he had the confidence. Lin Yi wouldn't do anything he wasn't confident in. But reality had dealt a blow to Han Xiaopa. If possible, he wanted to go up himself and challenge the strength of a mystic late phase peak. After a moment of silence, Han Xiaopa said, "Old Zhao, I have a question. Could it be that you want to take Lin Yi's place to challenge?" "Of course that's possible. You're also a disciple of the hidden Han family. If it's this question, then you don't have to ask." Old Zhao looked at Han Xiaopa and teased. As far as he was concerned, this golden class mid-phase Han Xiaopa was only going to die once he went up. There was no other possibility. Chapter 21:10. This? Old Zhao was taken aback. He hadn't considered that much. To put it bluntly, when these rules were set, they didn't think too much about it. From their perspective, the hidden house of Han would forfeit every match, and the predetermined houses and sects would win without a doubt. But Lin Yi's appearance had broken this rule, turning the hidden house's summit into a mess. Could it be a tie? Han Xiaopa asked. Naturally, the first challenger will be the winner. Jin Gang spoke up, "We challenge the Earth-class late phase peak first. If you didn't challenge, then we'll win. If you want to beat us, you'll have to challenge someone of a higher level." "That's not fair, is it?" Han Xiaopa's face changed. "What's fair about it? The order of challenges is decided by drawing lots, and you guys challenged before us. If you have the ability, you could have challenged first. What's the point of complaining about this?" When Vajra heard what Han Xiaopa said, he naturally retorted. He did not want to hand over the hard-earned victory just like that. Phew. Lin Yi let out a breath. His internal injuries were already healed, and his mental state was at its peak. He couldn't help but smile at Jin Gang's words. "Not a tie? That's good, that's what I wanted. I'm going to challenge the Sky Class Early Phase. If you want to surpass me, then challenge the Sky Class Early Phase Peak." With that, Lin Yi walked up to the stage in a carefree manner. "Sky Class Early Phase? Don't talk big. Don't lose your life here." Jean Gang laughed coldly. Old Zhao, since this kid wants to die, then let's fulfill his wish. Hidden House of Han, are you sure you want to challenge the Sky Class early phase? Old Zhao was overjoyed, but he didn't show it on his face. You should know that tools have no eyes. If you die on the stage, then it'll be a waste. I want a challenge, so of course I'm ready. Lin Yi said. Alright, then get ready. Elder Zhao nodded and placed his palm on the chi transfer point again. Elder Yu, and Elder Tang looked at each other with joy in their eyes. They had been looking for a chance to kill Lin Yi, and just as they were worried that they didn't have a chance, this Lin Yi had delivered himself to their doorstep. Heaven Stage Initial Stage, even a Heaven Stage Initial Stage expert like old Master Zhao wouldn't dare to stand there and take such a move head-on. Taking a hit from a master of the same level was suicide. Even if Lin Yi was a Sky Class early phase master, he wouldn't be able to take it without his divine arts. These old men had always wanted to kill without a trace and draw a clear line between themselves. They put their palms together and channeled their chi at the same time. The progress bar on the tool didn't take an instant this time. It took a while before it reached the Heaven Stage Initial Stage. Then, the giant arm suddenly struck out and smashed onto Lin Yi's body. Bam! Lin Yi's body was sent flying again, flying tens of meters away before landing heavily on the ground. Lin Yi spat out a mouthful of blood, feeling as if his organs had been shifted, and most of the meridians in his body had been shattered as well. He'd only felt like this when he'd saved Guan Xan at the very end of the fight. This was the feeling of reaching the limit of his life, the feeling of being on the verge of death. It seemed like he had underestimated the power of a Heaven Stage Initial Stage expert. With his current strength, it wasn't realistic to want to arm wrestle with a Heaven Stage Initial Stage expert. The reason why Lin Yi tried the attack of a Heaven Stage Initial Stage expert wasn't because he was reckless. He wanted to win the championship again and win those bets. Lin Yi wasn't the kind of person who was bored enough to fight to the death for some spoils of war. There was a reason why he tried. His repeated victories had already aroused the jealousy and fear of the group of old men and sect leaders led by old Master Zhao. If this continued, they would definitely not let Lin Yi off so easily. Yesterday's endurance competition was an example. These people wanted to kill him with their pressure, so Lin Yi felt hostility. He wanted to test how injured he would be after receiving a blow from a Heaven Stage Initial Stage expert. It was impossible for him to die. Lin Yi was confident that as long as he endured this kind of blow and didn't get his head blown up, there was hope for him to recover. Therefore, Lin Yi wanted to test the power of a Heaven Stage Initial Stage expert. Secondly, if he continued to participate in the competition without any injuries after receiving a full blow from a Heaven Stage Initial Stage expert, it would definitely make those Heaven Stage old men extremely afraid and not dare to make a move easily, because they couldn't figure out his strength. Even if they were angry or jealous before knowing his trump card, they couldn't directly shed all pretense of cordiality. Back when he was at Mystic, Sky Class gave him the feeling of being high up in the sky, so majestic, so unreachable. But now, at Earth Stage, the strength of Heaven Stage was not so uncontrollable. At least, he wouldn't be killed in one move by a Heaven Stage expert. This was something that made Lin Yi very happy. After landing, Lin Yi didn't dare to stop. After entering the space of the Jade Pendant, he began to heal his internal injuries. Of course, Lin Yi didn't completely heal them. He only healed the more serious injuries on his internal organs and meridians. As for the broken sternum, he wasn't in a hurry. It wouldn't be too late to heal them when Lin Yi returned to his temporary residence. Lin Yi sat cross-legged and didn't speak. This made Han Xiaopa, who wasn't far away, anxious. When he saw Lin Yi being sent flying, his heart tightened. He wanted to see what was going on, but he was afraid that Lin Yi's injury would disturb Lin Yi's mental cultivation method to heal his injuries. So for a moment he was in a bit of a dilemma. Lin Yi, are you dead or alive? Say something. Old man Zhao saw that after Lin Yi landed, he sat there motionlessly. He wasn't sure if Lin Yi was dead or not, so he opened his mouth to ask. But in his heart, he was still inclined to let Lin Yi die on the spot. What are you arguing about? Mr. Lin is recovering from his injuries and can't speak. Do you want him to go berserk? Han Tianba said angrily. This was also the first time he dared to go against these old men from other hidden families. Chapter 21:11. That's right. Even I wouldn't dare to take it head-on. Elder Yu said, but he sighed in his heart. This Lin Yi, if only he wasn't the hidden House Yu's rival. Too bad, not only did he steal House Yu's chi-gathering pill, but he also destroyed House Yu's power. This made Elder Yu have no choice but to be hostile towards Lin Yi. Otherwise, with Lin Yi's relationship with Yu Bing and Yu Ning, he could join the hidden house Yu. That would be the key for House Yu to ascend to a higher level, the ancient house. However, Ning's matters weren't up to him. She would definitely rise to the top. Even if she wasn't the future head of the hidden house Yu, she would be the future support of the hidden house Yu, because she had already been chosen by the people from that place. You guys don't dare to, but if it was me, I'd be dead already. Elder Yu didn't hide it. He mainly focused on refining pills, and his arts were support arts. Although he had reached Sky Class, this Sky Class was much weaker than normal Sky Class. He would die for sure if he took that hit. That's right, that's what I meant. Elder Tang's thoughts were similar to Elder Yu's, regretful and pitiful. If this Lin Yi didn't treat him and Tang Yun like that, wouldn't things be different in the hidden house Tang? If Lin Yi didn't die from that hit, how amazing would that be? They didn't even dare to take a hit from an early stage Sky Class, but Lin Yi did. What did this mean? It meant that even if Lin Yi wasn't stronger than an early stage Sky Class, he was at least an early stage Sky Class. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not dead. I'm fine, I'll be fine after some rest. Lin Yi opened his eyes and smiled. He stood up and walked towards Han Tianba steadily as if he wasn't injured at all. He was completely different from the others. Oh, how is this possible? Elder Zhao's eyes were wide as he stared at Lin Yi, completely unharmed after spitting out blood. Just how strong are you? Elder Yu stared at Lin Yi as if he had seen a ghost. This doesn't make sense. Is there something wrong with this prop? Elder Yu looked at the prop in front of him in doubt. Whether there's a problem or not, you'll know after you try it yourself. Lin Yi said faintly, don't talk nonsense. Is there anyone else who wants to continue the challenge? Everyone looked at each other in dismay. How were they supposed to challenge an early stage heaven rank? However, Diamond's expression was extremely ugly. He had a closed-door disciple, the trump card of this tournament. He was preparing to let him participate in the single elimination tournament. This disciple was also Mystic Late Phase Peak, but in terms of golden cover, he was much stronger than the disciple who had participated in the previous tournament. If the previous disciple's limit was Earth Class Late Phase Peak, then this disciple's limit would be Sky Class Early Phase. But the key problem was that he had just blocked his own path. He told Lin Yi that if he wanted to challenge, he had to challenge someone of a higher level. In other words, if he wanted to beat Lin Yi, he had to challenge someone of Sky Class Early Phase Peak. That way, his disciple wouldn't be able to take it at all. He'd be killed the moment he went up. If Diamond went up, there wouldn't be a problem. Naturally, he would be able to take the hit. But the rules of the Hidden House Summit stipulated that the participating disciples had to be below 25 years old. They couldn't be older than that, and Diamond had long since surpassed that age. Diamond hated it. Wouldn't it be great if they were tied? If he had let his guard down just now, maybe Lin Yi wouldn't have challenged someone of Sky Class Early Phase. He'd have challenged someone of Earth Class Late Phase Peak, and then they'd be tied for first place. That would be much better than this second place. At the very least, after Lin Yi challenged someone of Sky Class Early Phase, he could let his closed-door disciple challenge someone of the same level. That way they'd still be tied for first place. After all, in the single elimination tournament, his disciple had an advantage. Even if he couldn't beat the opponent wouldn't be able to hurt him. But the rules of the single elimination tournament weren't just about defeating the opponent. As long as the opponent was knocked off the stage, it would be considered a win. Although his closed-door disciple had the golden bell cover to protect him, and his disciple would definitely be able to take a pure chi attack, there was no guarantee that the opponent would be able to use a powerful martial technique to knock his disciple off the stage. After all, martial techniques were much more powerful than pure chi attacks. So, in the single elimination tournament, he didn't have the confidence to win. The best-case scenario was for everyone to be tied for first place. But that was also very uncertain. There was a good chance right in front of him, but it was ruined for no reason. The Hidden Han family is currently the record holder for the highest level of resistance. Sky Class Early Phase. Are there any disciples from other families or sects who aren't satisfied and want to challenge them? Old Man Zhao announced the results of the tournament and asked. But after asking, no one answered for a long time. Leader Jean, do you have any disciples who want to challenge? Old Man Zhao asked again, placing his hopes on the Golden Bell Gate. Oh, yes. Diamond said these two words with difficulty. He was a little helpless, but he had to give up. Well, since there are no more, then the champion of this competition is the Hidden Han family, the second place is the Golden Bell Gate, and the third place is the Fire Wolf Gang. Old Man Zhao announced. When this result came out, the face of the Hidden Yu family's disciple suddenly turned pale. He was fourth place. He actually became fourth place. And there was no benefit for fourth place. Previously, Old Man Yu promised him that he would only be rewarded if he entered the top 3. Only then would he give him the Meridian Unblocking Pill and small rejuvenating pill to heal his injuries. But now there was nothing he could do. He hated and regretted it, but there was nothing he could do. A loss was a loss. He was very regretful. He shouldn't have participated in this competition with illusions. The previous few competitions had already spread Lin Yi's reputation. Why did he still want to join in the fun? In this competition, the Golden Bell Gate was the predetermined first place, and the Fire Wolf Gang was also a popular candidate. He wanted to protect the third place. However, he deliberately ignored Lin Yi. In his opinion, Lin Yi was very good in so many competitions. He couldn't be all-rounder, right? But he lost the bet. There was no medicine for regret in this world. His future was naturally bleak. Chapter 21:12. Looking at Old Man Yu's indifferent gaze, it was as if he was looking at a dog. The disciple's heart turned cold. He was just a follower of Old Man Yu. In Old Man Yu's eyes, he was just like a dog, right? When it was useful, he would give him some benefits. When it was useless, he would probably kick him away. He didn't know if he would have the chance to continue staying in the Hidden Yu family. Would the Hidden Yu family raise a cripple? He would probably be kicked out after he returned, right? At that time, he would be a cripple with injuries all over his body. He wouldn't even be able to do ordinary work. He would probably have no choice but to beg for food, right? He regretted it. He thought that his future would be bright if he relied on the Yu family. He could develop in the Yu family and break through the barrier as soon as possible to break through to the heaven stage. He was a lone cultivator. He was already proud to have such a cultivation, but now, it had become a dream. Of course, he still had a secret, a big secret that he didn't say. This secret was the secret that he, a lone cultivator, could advance to the middle stage of the Earth stage at the age of 24. He was prepared to break through to the heaven stage in the Hidden Yu family. At that time, in order to repay the Hidden Yu family, he would say this secret. But now, he had seen through the fickleness of human nature. The Yu family treated him so well, how could he say this big secret? Taking a deep breath, the disciple of the Yu family looked at Old Master Yu with a glimmer of hope. He hoped that Old Master Yu could give him a Meridian Unblocking Pill and a small revitalizing pill. Otherwise, even if his injuries were healed, he would still be a cripple. It would be a problem for him to survive in the future. You go back and rest. After returning to the Yu family, I will give you a severance pay. Spend it sparingly. It will be enough for you to live for the rest of your life. Old Master Yu was unhappy and said coldly, Okay. The disciple of the Yu family nodded helplessly and said, But Master doesn't have to worry. Fortunately, I collected a small revitalizing pill and a Meridian Unblocking Pill in the early years. My injuries have been suppressed now. I will go get it now. Oh? You actually have such a pill in your hands? That's good. You go. Old Master, you didn't expect this guy to have something good. It seemed that this guy didn't participate in the competition because he wanted to win, but he had a trump card. Little did he know that this disciple was just casually saying that to save his face. This disciple already had the intention to commit suicide. It was a great shame for a martial artist. Although Old Man Yu said that he could give him a severance pay, it was better to die than to live without purpose. The disciple cupped his fists and turned to leave. Lin Yi, on the other hand, looked at the back of the disciple, deep in thought. As a former assassin, Lin Yi had a very thorough and profound understanding of the human heart and human nature. This disciple's eyes were filled with despair just now. Which part of him looked like he had a life-saving pill? This disciple must have committed suicide. This made Lin Yi sigh endlessly. These people selling their lives for these hidden families in the end. But he kicked him away like trash. This guy was like that, and so was the Earth stage blue-haired man who was by right coiling Tiger's side. Old Man, you didn't care about this disciple at all. His mind was on something else. Lin Yi won again. Was there any justice in this world? He could withstand the full blow of a heaven stage master. After adjusting his breath for a while, he returned to normal like a normal person. As for his own disciple and the Golden Bell sect's disciple, at this moment their faces were quite ugly. They had suffered serious internal injuries. And the disciple of the Fire Wolf gang was probably dead now. Old Man Yu was very clear about what was going on with the Fire Wolf gang. They just injected some hypnotized puppets with biochemical drugs. These puppets relied on drugs and were not afraid of death or pain to hang on to their last breath. If they kept their lives, they would probably die once the effects of the drug wore off. This kind of evil method was somewhat similar to the everyday and everyday sect. So even if their contestant died, no one dared to mention it again. No one dared to bring it up again. Therefore the Firewolf gang was able to sit in the third place. They were invulnerable. However, just because these people didn't doubt it didn't mean that everyone else didn't doubt it. A cold voice sounded, the Firewolf gang's way of doing things is really ingenious. They sent a puppet-like character up for the competition. I'm afraid he's dead now? What a joke. The winner is king and the loser is a thief. Linny, why do you have so much to say? Even if he died, he will die after the competition. What does it have to do with you? Although Mingyue was angry, he really didn't dare to do anything to Lin Yi. His own nephew was killed by Lin Yi. His son's leg was broken. Even the Firewolf gang's Earth Stage late-phase master didn't dare to do anything to Lin Yi. What could Mingyue do? He could only say indifferently, the rules of the competition say that as long as you win, it's fine. It doesn't say that you can't die after the competition. Lin Yi just felt that the Yu clan disciple was a little pitiful, so he said it. However, if Lin Yi really wanted to stand up for the Yu clan disciple, Lin Yi wasn't interested. Even if the Firewolf gang took the third place and became the hidden Yu clan, Lin Yi wouldn't get a single cent of benefit. Okay, since there are no problems, let's invite the 3 clans to the stage to collect the bet, Grandpa Zhao said. Lin Yi collected the bet and glanced at the bet between the Firewolf gang and the Golden Clock sect. The Golden Clock sect still had the same bet as before. Lin Yi wasn't interested, but the Firewolf gang took out a bottle of potion this time. What is this potion? Lin Yi asked because during the registration, and Mingyue only registered it as 01 potion. He didn't know what it was and didn't explain it. A potion that can make people instantly stronger. Do you want it? And Mingyue said calmly. Although this potion was precious, it was harmful. It could make people instantly stronger, but the side effects after becoming stronger were also very obvious. Just like the previous Firewolf gang disciples, they weren't afraid of pain and death during the competition. Their potential was stimulated to the limit, but after the competition, they couldn't escape the fate of death. And Mingyue hated Lin Yi, so naturally she wouldn't explain too much. What sounds good? Give it to me. Lin Yi said and casually took out a useless treasure from his bet and threw it to Mingyue in exchange for the 01 potion. No problem. And Mingyue completed the exchange with Lin Yi easily. The treasure was far more valuable to Mingyue than the 01 potion. Naturally, she was very happy. Chapter 21:13. He guessed that the disciples who participated in the competition before had all used this potion and turned into mindless cyborgs that were not afraid of pain and death. Lin Yi didn't ask for this potion for his own use. He just wanted to take it back and study it. Alright, since there's nothing else, let's go back and rest, Lin Yi said faintly. His body had suffered internal injuries. Although there were no problems on the surface, he had to go back and heal. After saying that, Lin Yi left with Han Tianba and Han Xiaopa. This match could be considered a daunting experience without any mishaps. Lin Yi not only tested the power of an early-stage heaven rank expert, but he also won the championship once again. This was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. After Lin Yi left, both Jin Gang and Elder Yu's faces turned ugly. Only Mingyue's expression was slightly better. To Mingyue there was not much difference between the second and third place. She would either get back her bet or exchange it for another bet. On the other hand, Mingyue had already made a bet that she was satisfied with. Furthermore, being in the top 3 had helped the Firewolf gang regain some face, so things were still normal. However, Diamond Drill, who was originally aiming for the championship, had now lost the championship because of Lin Yi's challenge. The most infuriating thing was that it was because of his cheap mouth that he had added an additional rule to the competition, causing him to lose the championship. How could he feel good about this? It was the same for Old Master Yu. He was originally in the 3rd place and it was already very stable. However, Lin Yi rushed from the 4th place to the 1st place and pushed him to the 4th place. Forget it, don't get angry now. He could only piss himself off and it didn't help the situation at all. Since Ganyan Mountain Sect had a trump card in the last battle, why should we worry too much? Old Man Zhao said, everyone can see that Lin Yi suffered an all-out attack from an early-stage heaven-rank powerhouse and is still fine. He can actually talk and laugh while walking. Even if we join hands, we might not be able to take down Lin Yi. Not to mention, the rules of the tournament forbid any tricks. Yes. He might not even be a match for Lin Yi. This Lin Yi is really beyond my expectations. Old Master Yu sighed and shook his head. However, Elder Yu and Elder Tang both had the same thought in their minds. If they knew this would happen, they wouldn't have done it in the first place. Wouldn't it have been better if he hadn't gone against Lin Yi? The Hidden Tang family had already cut off their relationship with Lin Yi. That day they had chosen to stand with the right family and the Heavenly Elixir sect, becoming enemies with Lin Yi, Tang Yun, and the Ice Palace. There was absolutely no chance for him to go back on his words, unless he broke off relations with the Hidden Right family and the Heavenly Elixir sect. That would not be worth it. The Hidden House Yu, on the other hand, had Elder Yu's heart shifting slightly. If only Lin Yi wasn't the one who stole Yu Huixing's qi-gathering pill. That way the two families would be able to come clean. Other than the common House Yu, there wasn't any hatred that couldn't be resolved. But qi-gathering pills. It was a hatred of life and death. Delaying Yu Shaochen from breaking through to Sky Class was a huge sin to the Hidden House Yu. Even if Elder Yu wanted to repair his relationship with Lin Yi, Yu Shaochen might not be willing. That was a chance to break through to Sky Class. To a practitioner, that was the most precious thing. It wasn't a big deal if one or two people died, since they were just trash. But the problem now was the qi-gathering pill. With that thought, Elder Yu let out a long sigh and turned around, leaving the place with big steps. When Lin Yi returned to his temporary residence, his face changed from red to pale. Lin Yi had only temporarily replenished some energy to repair the damage to his organs, but it wasn't completely healed. Now that he was back, there was no need to hide it anymore. "Boss, what's wrong?" Han Xiaopa looked at Lin Yi and asked, shocked. "It's nothing. The power of an early phase Sky Class is indeed extraordinary, and it's a head-on fight." Lin Yi smiled bitterly. "I've suffered a serious internal injury and I need to heal now. Just don't disturb me, I won't be eating lunch." Then the next match. Han Xiaopa was shocked when he heard that Lin Yi was injured. "Then should we forfeit the next match?" It's fine, I'll be fine in a while," Lin Yi said casually. Han Xiaopa nodded, not saying anything else after hearing Lin Yi's words. At noon, a disciple from House Zhao brought food over. Lin Yi closed his eyes to heal, and Han Xiaopa didn't dare to disturb him. He left a portion for Lin Yi and ate quietly with Han Tianba, waiting for Lin Yi to recover. If the envoy from House Zhao came to invite them before Lin Yi recovered, then Han Xiaopa would have declined. After all, Lin Yi's health was more important than the outcome of the match. As long as there's life, there's hope. But just as the afternoon match was about to start, Lin Yi opened his eyes abruptly and let out a long breath. "Fu, boss, you've recovered?" Han Xiaopa saw Lin Yi open his eyes and asked with joy. "Yes, I've recovered." Lin Yi nodded. "I think the people from House Zhao will be here soon." Sure enough, as soon as Lin Yi's voice fell, the voice of a disciple from House Zhao came from outside the temporary residence. "Is Master Han here? Today's second match is about to begin. Master Han, please bring your participating disciples and bets to the meeting hall to register." This time Han Tianba wasn't in a hurry to agree. Instead he turned to look at Lin Yi. After all, in his opinion, Lin Yi was seriously injured in the morning. If he participated in the match at this time and affected his recovery, then it would be a loss. They had won so many matches. Occasionally losing one or two matches wouldn't affect the Hidden Han family's reputation at all. Moreover, the Hidden Han family could afford to lose the bets. "Let's go, Xiaopa, Elder Han. Let's see the sixth match," Lin Yi said. "May I ask what this match is about?" "I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that this match is an alchemy competition," the disciple from House Zhao replied carefully. It wasn't that he forgot to mention it. He came specifically to inform them, so how could he forget to mention it? There was only one reason why he didn't mention the details of the match. Elder Zhao had instructed him to test Lin Yi's side. If Lin Yi was injured and didn't mention the details of the match, then Lin Yi was likely to forfeit because of his injury. Chapter 21:14. Old Master Yu had lost several games in a row. If he lost this alchemy competition again, it would be really shameful, so he came up with such a way to ask Old Master Zhao for help. "Oh, lead the way." After listening, Lin Yi's face was calm and said faintly, "Yes." The disciple nodded. On the surface, he respectfully led the way in front, but he secretly sent a text message to Old Master Zhao with his mobile phone. Lin Yi asked about the content of the competition, and he had already rushed to the meeting hall. In the meeting hall, after Old Master Zhao received the text message, he handed the phone to Old Master Yu with a gloomy face and said, "Your previous strategy didn't work." Lin Yi didn't give up. He also asked about the competition. When he heard that it was alchemy, Lin Yi came. Even a blow at the early stage of Heaven stage couldn't kill him. "It's really strange. Old Master Yu was furious when he saw the text message. This alchemy competition was prepared for the Yu family, but now it seemed to be tailor-made for Lin Yi. Second-grade medicinal pills were nothing in Lin Yi's eyes. Except for the small qi-gathering pill which Lin Yi took, Lin Yi didn't even look at the Foundation Establishment pill, Small Huan pill and Meridian Unblocking pill. What did this mean? It meant that Lin Yi should be able to refine it himself. The reason why the small qi-gathering pill was accepted was probably because the refining material was more expensive than the others, so Lin Yi took it. However, the other materials were not precious. They were expensive in the grade of the medicinal pills. If Lin Yi could refine it himself, naturally he wouldn't care. Grandpa, what should I do? I can only refine a first-grade medicinal pill now, and I'm not 100% able to refine it. When Lin Yi comes and directly refines a second-grade medicinal pill, won't I lose? Yu Panhu said, however, it's fine if I lose. According to the rules of the competition, whoever refines the higher grade of medicinal pills wins. I can get second place no matter what. But the key problem is that Lin Yi got first place again. How could old man Yu want Lin Yi to win first place again? The Yu family was an aristocratic family that focused on alchemy. If an outsider won the alchemy championship, it would be a slap in the face. Not only would it lose face for the Yu family, but it would also lose face for their master, the Heavenly Elixir sect. He absolutely could not lose this face. They couldn't let Lin Yi win this match. That's right. We must think of a way to prevent Lin Yi from getting first place. Old man Yu said, Coiling Tiger and other competitions, it doesn't matter how our hidden Yu family's ranking is because the Heavenly Elixir sect doesn't care. However, if it's an alchemy competition, it will be a slap in the face. The Heavenly Elixir faction will definitely be unhappy. Yes. Right, Coiling Tiger nodded. That Lin Yi is really despicable. Old Master Yu, I have a good idea. Old Master Tang spoke up. What good idea? Grandpa Tang, please speak. Grandpa Yu quickly asked. Change the rules of the competition. Old Master Tang said, let's change the rules of the competition. Whoever is able to refine a third-grade medicinal pill in the shortest amount of time within the allotted time will be the winner, and so on and so forth. Third-grade elixir? How is that possible? Even I can't refine it successfully. Old Master Yu was stunned and asked. The rule is to fail. Old Master Tang smiled and said, Old Master Yu, do you want Lin Yi to win? Or not win at all? That's right. Old Yu was suddenly enlightened. Although we changed the rules to refining level 3 elixirs and we can't win this competition, it's impossible for Lin Yi to win. When that time comes, everyone will lose. There won't be a problem of face. Grandpa, this is a good idea, but it's a bit of a pity. Right, Coiling Tiger sighed. Originally, he wanted to be in the limelight in this alchemy competition. However, when he found out that Lin Yi was also participating, he didn't have the mood. It's not a pity, it's the only way. Otherwise, if Lin Yi wins again, I will die of anger. Old Master Yu said, okay, let's follow this rule. On this side, Old Master Yu changed the rules of the competition. Lin Yi and the others also came to the meeting hall. Han Qianba registered Lin Yi's name and bet, then sat quietly by the side, waiting for Old Master Zhao to announce the rules of the competition. However, whether it was Han Qianba or Han Xiaopa, they had unprecedented confidence in this competition because they knew that Lin Yi was an alchemist. Alchemy was Lin Yi's strength, so the chances of winning this competition were still very high. However, although Lin Yi looked calm on the surface, he was smiling bitterly in his heart. I know alchemy? Let Han Jingjing participate? That's more like it. However, Lin Yi didn't want to reveal Han Jingjing's trump card too early. The tree that stood out in the forest would be destroyed by the wind. Han Jingjing wasn't Lin Yi. Lin Yi had some trump cards and self-protection methods, but Han Jingjing didn't. If the Hidden Yu family or the Heavenly Elixir sect realized the crisis and sent people to kill Han Jingjing, it would be too late for Lin Yi to cry. Therefore, there was no need for Lin Yi to let Han Jingjing participate for such a small bet. Even if Han Jingjing participated, there must be a heaven-defying reward for Lin Yi to consider it. Lin Yi didn't even have the mood for this kind of small fight. The reason why Lin Yi appeared here was to form a kind of pressure on the Hidden Zhao family, the Hidden Yu family, and the other aristocratic families. He told them that the power of the early stage of Heaven stage couldn't do anything to him. He was still alive and kicking. It was to let their conspiracy against him rest first. Sure enough, these people were a little surprised when they saw Lin Yi participate in the competition with a normal expression. One had to know that the disciples of the Golden Bell sect were injured to the point that they couldn't get out of bed. The disciples of the Fire Wolf gang were already dead, and the disciples of the Yu family were nowhere to be found. Yupanhu, how are you? This time, shouldn't your Yu family change the bet to a second-grade medicine cauldron? I think that thing is pretty good. Why don't you give me another one? Linny saw Yupanhu and greeted him with a smile. Damn, do you think a second-grade medicine cauldron is a street item? It's not easy to take out a first-grade medicine cauldron as a bet in this competition. A second-grade medicine cauldron? Do you think my family produces medicine cauldrons? Right, Coiling Tiger heard Lin Yi's words as if he could definitely win, and immediately said in a displeased manner. Stingy? Lin Yi shrugged. Chapter 21:15. Coiling Tiger. Old Master Yu shouted to you, Coiling Tiger, don't argue with him. So what if he's a second-grade medicinal cauldron? He has the ability to win first. Yes, the rules of the competition haven't been announced yet. Do you think you're omnipotent? Yu Coiling Tiger curled his lips. Old Master Yu nodded and gestured to Old Master Zhao to announce the new rules. Well, everyone already knows that this competition is an alchemy competition. Next, I will announce the rules of the competition. Old Master Zhao said, the rules of this alchemy competition are, whoever can refine a third-grade medicinal pill in the shortest time within the stipulated time will be the winner. The second and third place will be the same. There are no restrictions on the type of medicinal pill. As long as it's a third-grade medicinal pill, it is in line with the rules of the competition. Next, the contestants from the various families and sects, please take your positions and prepare to refine medicinal pills. Third grade? Linny was stunned. Who set the rules? Are they retarded? Is there anyone here who can refine third-grade medicinal pills? If third-grade medicinal pills were so easy to refine, Rock Candy wouldn't be so worried. Yes, it's third grade. Seeing Lin Yi's puzzled eyes, Old Master Zhao nodded proudly. Sure enough, Lin Yi couldn't refine it. Is there anyone here who can refine third-grade medicinal pills? Lin Yi asked. Don't worry about others. If you can refine it, then do it. You Coiling Tiger sneered. Oh, I can't. Lin Yi said faintly. I can't even make a first-level pill, let alone a third-level pill. I said before that I would forfeit this match, and now I'm fulfilling my promise. Lin Yi said faintly, don't even mention a third-level pill. You Coiling Tiger was stunned. It wasn't surprising that Lin Yi forfeited. After all, he had long felt that Lin Yi couldn't refine third-grade medicinal pills. What surprised him was Lin Yi's words. He couldn't refine first-grade medicinal pills? Was this possible? Wasn't Lin Yi an alchemist? Why couldn't he even refine first-grade medicinal pills? Thinking of this, Yupanhu looked at Old Master Yu suspiciously. Lin Yi, don't talk nonsense. Who doesn't know that you're an alchemist? You can't even refine a first-grade medicinal pill? Who are you trying to fool? Do you expect me to believe that? Old Man Yu snorted and said, I know you can't complete it because the rules are so high. So you want to provoke me on purpose? It doesn't matter. I'm not angry and I don't believe it either. If you had said that you were injured in the morning and didn't have enough true qi to concoct pills, I would have believed you. But you used such a clumsy excuse to say that you gave up, really, tsk. Lin Yi looked at Old Master Yu speechlessly and shook his head. He said regretfully, in this day and age no one believes the truth. I really feel sorry for your IQ. Tisk, do you think I will believe what you said? Old Master Yu snorted, Lin Yi, just give up. Don't find so many excuses. I didn't find any excuses. Lin Yi said and looked at Old Master Pai. I say, Old Man Pai, I said before that if I give up the competition, you will give me a bottle of body tempering potion, right? Now I give up. Give me the body tempering potion. Old Pai had forgotten about this. After being reminded by Lin Yi, he remembered the bet. His face suddenly darkened and he blamed Old Master Yu for changing the rules of the competition. Let Lin Yi win, so be it. The rules were changed. Lin Yi gave up and he lost a bottle of body tempering potion for no reason. You can't blame me for this. If you want to blame something, blame this alchemy competition. If there was no alchemy competition, I might not have given up. Lin Yi said. So what if I give it to you? Old Master Pai didn't dare to renege on Lin Yi's belongings. Old Master Pai was just an external early-stage sky-class master. He didn't have the strength to challenge Lin Yi. Originally, if an external early-stage sky-class master didn't have any special skills, he could only be on par with an internal late-stage peak Earth-class master. Even if Old Master Pai's martial arts focused on Divine Fist, he could only be on par with an internal early-stage sky-class master. But Lin Yi was fine against an early-stage Sky-class master. Old Master Pai couldn't win against Lin Yi, so he could only take a step back and accept his loss. That's great, there's a reward for giving up. It's not a loss. Lin Yi nodded proudly and then nodded to Coiling Tiger. Right, you guys continue the competition, there's nothing else for me to do. I forfeit as well? Upon who you felt that something wasn't right. This Lin Yi didn't seem to feel like he'd been set up by someone else after reading the rules. He didn't seem to be angry at all. Instead, it was as if he was taking pleasure in his misfortune. But Coiling Tiger Right couldn't figure out what the problem was. As for Old Master Yu, he also felt that something seemed to be wrong, but he couldn't figure out what the problem was for the time being. Coiling Tiger Right announced that he had given up, so the others naturally wouldn't be able to concoct a third-level pill. Not to mention the hidden houses, even the ancient sects wouldn't be able to concoct a third-level pill. This competition could be said to be an impossible task. Since everyone has given up, the competition is over. There's no winner. All houses and sects, please collect your bets. Old Master Yu announced. Lin Yi happily took the body-tempering potion that Old Master Yu had sent someone to get him, as well as the bets that he had bet before. He happily left with Han Qianba and Han Xiaopa, leaving behind a group of people staring at each other. Grandpa, why doesn't Lin Yi look depressed at all? It seems like he's very happy with this result. Coiling Tiger Right felt that something was wrong. I feel the same way, but that Lin Yi kid is very cunning. Even if he's unhappy, he won't show it. His goal is to make us unhappy, so don't fall for it. Old Master Yu said after some thought. That's right, this kid is the best at acting, or else he wouldn't have been able to trick my two cauldrons. Coiling Tiger Right nodded. Old Master Yu, because of this rule change, our hidden house Pai lost a bottle of body-tempering potion. You can't blame this on us, right? Old Master Pai said unhappily. He didn't dare to wrestle with Lin Yi, but he wanted to get some benefits from Old Master Yu. Chapter 21:16. If that's the case, thank you. With Elder Yu's promise, Elder Pai didn't say anything else. Lin Yi, Han Tianba, and Han Xiaopa walked back to their temporary residence. On the way, Han Xiaopa said angrily, Boss, this rule is a bit annoying. It seems like it's deliberately targeting you. Who can make a third-level medicinal pill? According to the information we received before, the rules of the alchemy competition are that the higher the grade of the alchemy pill refined, the shorter the time used to refine the pill. Why did it suddenly become a third-grade pill? Were the previous rules really like what you said? Lin Yi was slightly stunned. Yes, and the alchemy competition of the previous Hidden Summit has always been like this. It hasn't been changed for a long time. It's hard not to think that the sudden change this time is to deliberately target you, boss. Han Xiaopa nodded and said, Elder Yu and Coiling Tiger Right. Lin Yi smiled. This alchemy competition, Lin Yi was ready to give up, otherwise he wouldn't have made such a bet with the Hidden House of Pai. But it seemed that the Hidden House of Pai was too careful. Seeing that he won so many matches in a row, they didn't want him to continue winning, so they deliberately changed the rules of the competition. In the end, not only did they not harm Lin Yi, but they also harmed themselves. Lin Yi's original idea was to casually trade a useless treasure for a bottle of body-tempering potion. It would be an equal exchange and there would be no loss. But what Lin Yi didn't expect was that he didn't lose anything, and earned a bottle of body-tempering potion for free. Yes, they are really evil. Han Xiaopa said, but fortunately they didn't win, so we didn't lose in this competition. Hehe, not only did we not lose, but we also made a big profit. Lin Yi smiled. Although my injuries have healed, I have used up a lot of pure energy. If you ask me to concoct elixirs now, I really can't even concoct a first-grade elixir. I didn't lie to you before. No way? Han Xiaopa heard Lin Yi's words and suddenly became overjoyed. Ha! So, this old man, you lifted a rock and smashed it on his own feet? It's so cool. If they knew the truth they would probably regret it. Sometimes they may not believe me even if I tell the truth. Just like before, I told them that I can't make medicinal pills. I can't concoct pills, but they don't believe me. Lin Yi said. That's true, but this matter of making a fortune quietly, I don't care what they think. Han Xiaopa's mood lightened up instantly. Although they didn't get first place, Lin Yi was still the biggest winner. Isn't that the disciple of the Hidden House of Yu? Han Tianba suddenly frowned and looked at the forest not far from his temporary residence. There was a person there. At this moment, he was kneeling beside an Uncle Yang with a blank look on his face. He was muttering to himself, but no one knew what he was saying. And this person was actually the hidden disciple of the right family who had previously competed in the fight against each other. Lin Yi also frowned and followed Han Tianba's gaze. Sure enough, it was the injured disciple from the House of Yu. You guys go back first, I'll go take a look. Lin Yi sighed. He didn't know when it started, but his heart was no longer as cold as it was when he first returned to the city. Was it because of Xiao Xiao? Xiao Xiao had helped Qinshi a lot and he was very touched by it. Was it because of Xiaoke? Xiaoke's dedication and sacrifice for the children in the orphanage. It moved Lin Yi even more. Or was it because of the Mrs. Cold on the outside but warm on the inside, and over time he was also influenced by her? In short, when Lin Yi saw this disciple of House Yu's desperate and helpless expression, Lin Yi sighed in his heart. This person was pitiful, relying on the hidden House of Yu. He thought that he would have a bright future, but he didn't expect to end up like this. If Lin Yi couldn't see it, then so be it. But when he saw it, he felt like they were in the same boat. In the past, Lin Yi had similar despair and helplessness. That time when he fought against Ma Zhu of the Golden Bell Gate, Lin Yi was heavily injured and thought that he would never be able to train again, that he would never have strength again. But at that time, Lin Yi's master's attitude towards Lin Yi was completely different from the hidden House of Yu. At that time, the Mist did not abandon him and even wanted to go back to her hometown to seek refuge with him. This hidden House of Yu's disciple, on the other hand, was more miserable in comparison. He followed such a cold master, he was pitiful. Lin Yi silently stood behind this hidden House of Yu's disciple. This hidden House of Yu's disciple's meridians were broken, he lost his strength and his body was heavily injured. Naturally, he didn't notice the person behind him and was talking to himself. Sister, I'm incompetent. I can't avenge you in this life. I originally thought that I had a fortuitous encounter and reached the height of Earth rank at a young age. I could rely on the hidden House of Yu to have a good future, but I didn't expect. This disciple of Yu's was talking to himself about his sorrow. Sister, maybe you're already gone. I'm going to accompany you soon. Listening to this hidden House of Yu's disciple, Lin Yi's heart was heavy. This person joined the hidden House of Yu to take revenge? It seemed to be for his sister? You helped the wicked, joined the hidden House of Yu and became a lackey. You should have been mentally prepared for today, the day you joined. Lin Yi said lightly. Ah. This disciple of Yu's was shocked. He didn't expect someone to stand behind him. He turned his head subconsciously and saw that it was Lin Yi. His mouth curved into a self-deprecating smile. Did you come here to mock a defeated opponent like me? Defeated opponent? Lin Yi looked at the disciple of Yu's with interest. I pushed you from 3rd to 4th place. Don't you hate me? Hate? Why should I hate when I'm not as good as others? The disciple of Yu shook his head and said, I hate. I only hate that I didn't follow the right master. You're right. I thought the hidden House of Yu would train me as their core disciple. I didn't expect it to be a lackey. However, I didn't help the wicked. I disdained being a thug for their family's disciples and fawning on those in power. It's because you disdained that they used you to participate in the competition. Lin Yi smiled. This disciple of Yu's was stunned. He then nodded and said, yes, they used me as a tool. Those thugs only needed to flatter and help those young masters as bodyguards to get some elixirs for cultivation. But I had to risk my life. Chapter 21:17. At first, Lin Yi only sympathized with him slightly and told him not to die. That was all. But now this Yu family disciple had piqued Lin Yi's interest. Regret? The Yu family disciple shook his head. What's the use of regret? If I can restore you to normal, are you willing to be my chess piece in the hidden Yu family? Lin Yi glanced at the Yu family disciple and asked with a thought. What? You want me, a cripple, to be your pawn? What? You said you can restore me to normal? The Yu family disciple was stunned. You have the meridian unblocking pill and the small rejuvenating pill? Of course. Lin Yi nodded. Although Lin Yi was unwilling to take the meridian unblocking pill and the small rejuvenating pill, he still had a few pills after so many matches. Haven't you heard how many matches I've won? This? Why are you willing to save me? The Yu family disciple was puzzled. And why do you want me to be the Yu family's pawn? Do you have any grudges with the hidden Yu family? Not for the time being, but it's hard to say in the future. Lin Yi said faintly. Although Lin Yi could heal the Yu family disciple with his true energy, he was not his confidant yet. Lin Yi could not treat him like a confidant. Moreover, the matter of being the Yu family's pawn was just a temporary idea from Lin Yi. It was good if this person agreed, but there was no loss if he did not agree. Not for the time being? Then you saved me. The Yu family disciple was even more puzzled. Lin Yi and the hidden Yu family had a deep hatred. After saving him, he could sneak into the Yu family. With his strength, as long as he did not assassinate those Heaven Stage Masters, it was more than enough to assassinate other Earth Stage Masters. However, Lin Yi said that he did not have any for the time being. It's nothing. Maybe we are in the same boat. I also had a moment of despair like you. Lin Yi sighed and said, in fact, I don't necessarily need you to help me do anything. What will happen between me and the hidden Yu family is still up to old man Yu. Sorry, I can't promise you for the time being. The disciple of the right family hesitated for a moment and rejected Lin Yi's proposal. This surprised Lin Yi. Didn't this disciple of the Yu family want to return to normal? He actually rejected his proposal. What did this mean? You don't want to return to normal? Lin Yi asked curiously. I am a grateful person. Although the Yu family treated me unjustly, they have given me a place to live and some elixirs to assist me in my cultivation. Although they abandoned me this time, it was my own suggestion to participate in this competition for the generous reward after winning. The Yu family did not force me to do so. The Yu family disciple said, so, if the Yu family doesn't do anything excessive to me, I can't do anything to them and help you deal with him. I didn't expect you to be so foolishly loyal. Lin Yi shook his head. This is not foolishly loyal. If you can save me today and let me return to normal, I will repay you generously in the future. The Yu family disciple said, I was going to repay you to the Yu family, but I changed my mind. Repay you generously? Lin Yi narrowed his eyes slightly. What do you mean? A treasure map. The Yu family disciple said, I will tell you what it is after you save me. After this competition, I will return to the Yu family and get the treasure map. I will definitely give it to you at the right time. Treasure map. Let's not talk about whether it is true or not. Even if it is true, it is hard to say if there is any treasure on it. Lin Yi was not very excited. He said indifferently, moreover, even if there is a treasure, why don't you find it yourself? I went there once, but it was inaccessible. I didn't find the exact place. The Yu family disciple did not hide it. After that, I want to say it as a contribution to the Yu family. I want the hidden Yu family to help me get a chi gathering pill and advance to heaven stage to avenge my family. Are you sure you won't help me deal with the Yu family? Asked Lin Yi. If I feel that there is no need for me to stay in the Yu family, I will definitely seek refuge with you to repay you for saving my life today. The Yu family disciple said firmly. Although he did not answer Lin Yi's question directly, he also expressed his meaning. Forget it. Come with me. Lin Yi waved his hand. Although this Yu family disciple was foolishly loyal, if he went back and gradually discovered Elder Yu's true colors, he would probably slowly change his mind. Lin Yi could form a good relationship with him. Even if he could not use him to deal with the hidden Yu family, he could at least pass on some news. Thank you for saving my life. The Yu family disciple was overjoyed and stood up. He cupped his fist and said, after returning to the hidden Yu family, I, Yu Dake, will fulfill my promise and hand over the treasure map with both hands. Cough cough cough. Lin Yi was shocked by the Yu family disciple's name. What is your name? Yu Dake, what's wrong? Yu Dake looked at Lin Yi inexplicably. He didn't know what was wrong with his name. It actually shocked Lin Yi to this extent. What is your sister's name? Asked Lin Yi. My sister. Why are you asking this? When Yu Dake heard Lin Yi's question, his expression suddenly became vigilant. He looked at Lin Yi. Who are you? Who is Yu Xiaoka to you? Lin Yi didn't care about Yu Dake's expression and asked directly. Yu Xiaoka? Yu Dake's expression became even uglier. He seemed to regret telling Lin Yi his real name. He saw that Lin Yi helped him out of righteousness and wanted to give him the small rejuvenation pill and the meridian unblocking pill, so he revealed his real name. He was a person who would repay kindness. He didn't want to hide in front of his benefactor, so he directly said his real name. He didn't even use this name in the Yu family. In the Yu family he used the name Yujio. This was the code name of a Yu family disciple, just like Yu Shir-san. When the person in front of him heard his name, his expression began to change. Not only that, he actually knew his sister's name. Could it be that the person in front of him was his enemy? Thinking of this, Yu Dake suddenly became disheartened. He was clear about Lin Yi's strength. A full blow from a heaven stage master had no effect on him. The fact that he could stand here and joke with him was the best proof. Not to mention that he was injured. Even if he was in his peak state before he was injured, he wouldn't be able to beat Lin Yi. He couldn't escape the fate of being killed. So thinking of this, Yu Dake could only look at Lin Yi helplessly and regretfully. He could only blame himself for trusting Lin Yi too much. Chapter 21:18. When he heard Yu Dake's name, he was just trying his luck. He didn't know that Yu Dake and Yu Xiaoke really had a relationship. No, I don't know him. Yu Dake clenched his teeth and shook his head. What, Yu Xiaoke? I don't have a brother. Ah. Lin Yi smiled. You really are an idiot, aren't you? You're not that smart either. No wonder you're the one who's volunteering to participate in this tournament. So what? Yu Dake didn't care about his injuries or his life anymore, but Yu Xiaoke's news. All these years he had been secretly investigating Yu Xiaoke, but he didn't find anything. He was sure that he had never mentioned this name to anyone, nor did he hint to anyone that he had any relationship with this name. But today this person said his sister's name after hearing his name. For Yu Xiaoke's sake, I saved your life. It's fine if you don't want to admit it. Lin Yi waved his hand indifferently. Yu Xiaoke's life was already stressful enough, and suddenly a brother with a family grudge popped out. Wouldn't Yu Xiaoke die from exhaustion? So he didn't care that this person's sister was Yu Xiaoke. The Yu Xiaoke that Lin Yi knew wasn't the same person. Lin Yi saved him once, and whatever happened after that had nothing to do with Lin Yi. Yu Dake froze. Why did this person save him? Wasn't he his enemy? He was confused. Aren't you my enemy? When did I say I was your enemy? This is the first time I've seen you. Lin Yi said. Then the Yu Xiaoke you're talking about? Yu Dake hesitated and asked cautiously, do you know Yu Xiaoke? I do, but I can't tell you where she is. Lin Yi said firmly, I don't want her to get involved in this random family grudge of yours. Just to my liking. Yu Dake slapped his thigh and said, I was just about to tell you not to tell her about me. I can avenge this hatred alone. I don't want to implicate her. I just want to find her and make sure she's living well. Pretty good, Lin Yi said. That's good. Dake let out a sigh of relief as if a burden had been lifted off his mind. The Yu Xiaoke you're talking about, what does she look like? I'm different from you, Lin Yi said. Oh. Yu Dake was stunned and shook his head. That's natural. I take after my father. I'm not very good looking, but I'm rough and valiant. I take after my mother. I'm pretty? Oh. Lin Yi replied faintly. Right, what's your relationship with her? Suddenly Yu Dake's expression tightened as he looked at Lin Yi. It's okay, Lin Yi said. Really? Yu Dake felt that something wasn't right. He didn't want to give up. Do you want the pellets and meridian unblocking pellets? If you don't, then get out. Lin Yi said. Yes. Yu Dake quickly nodded. Then, do you have a photo of her? Can I see it? No? Lin Yi said. You really don't? Yu Dake was disappointed. She's not my wife. Why would I bring her photo out? Lin Yi said angrily. Then, wait, Yu Dake said. He took out a pocket watch and opened it. On the cover of the pocket watch there was a photo. On the photo there was a boy and a girl. The boy looked 4 or 5 years old and the girl was only 1 or 2 years old. Yu Dake handed the pocket watch to Lin Yi and asked, then help me see if it's her. Yu Dake confirmed that Lin Yi wasn't hostile and wasn't his enemy. He couldn't wait to confirm if the Yu Xiao Lin Yi was talking about was his sister. You're showing me a pornographic photo? Your sister isn't wearing a shirt? This isn't good. Lin Yi sweated. How can I recognize such a small child? Do you think I have superpowers? Besides, I've never seen your sister naked before. Yu Dake was speechless. You're so complicated for such a small child, kind of. Lin Yi said, but I'm not sure. The only thing I'm sure of is that the Yu Xiao I know is also an orphan. Then it should be. Yu Dake carefully put away the pocket watch and said, then I'm relieved. Whether it's her or not, just think of it as a memento. But don't tell her about me, I don't have the time. Lin Yi said and walked into the temporary residence with Yu Dake. He asked Han Xiaopa for a meridian opening pill and a small recovery pill and gave them to Yu Dake. Thank you. I'll leave first. I'll repay you in the future. Yu Dake cupped his fist and left Lin Yi's temporary residence. Lin Yi sighed. Was this the so-called cause and effect? Lin Yi was touched by Yu Xiaoke, and then he accidentally saved Yu Dake? Although he wasn't sure if this Yu Dake was Yu Xiaoke's brother, it seemed to be the case. Boss, how did you save him? Isn't he a disciple of the Hidden House Yu? Han Xiaopa had some doubts but waited until Yu Dake left before asking. Oh, I want to leave a spy in the Hidden House Yu. Don't talk about this. Lin Yi didn't explain much. I see. Han Xiaopa didn't ask much about Lin Yi's plan. He said, Boss, I think the single elimination tournament will be held tonight. You've just recovered from your injury. Why don't we forfeit? Not bad. Our hidden house Han is already very dazzling. I'm very satisfied with it. The tournament after this is more complicated. It'll take a lot of fights to determine the winner. If Mr. Lin doesn't want to participate, then don't participate. Han Qianba nodded. Let's see. Lin Yi said. Now that things had come to this, it was impossible for Lin Yi to not participate. If he refused, it would seem like he was really injured or afraid. Now was the time to establish his dominance. Killing 3 Earth-class warriors with one move wouldn't give Lin Yi too much time. These old men couldn't wait to get rid of Lin Yi. If Lin Yi didn't show weakness, it would be troublesome when he returned to the mortal world. All right. Han Xiaopa nodded. Chapter 21:19. Let's go, Lin Yi said. Han Qianba and Han Xiaopa saw Lin Yi's insistence, so they didn't say anything else. They followed Lin Yi to the meeting room. Just like before, Elder Zhao announced the list and bets. Next up is one of the most important parts of the Hidden House Summit, the Single Arena Challenge. Due to the special nature of the competition, there was a limit of 1 person. Gantian Mountain Sect was good at 1 man and 1 beast fighting together. However, they had no advantage in one-on-one combat, so they gave up. Next, there are 8 houses and sects left, and they will draw lots to decide the top 4. Then they will draw lots to decide the top 2 in the 3rd place. The final winner will be decided from the top 2. Of course, if you don't want to participate in the competition, you can say so now. Life and death are fated in the arena. Unless one party admits defeat, they can kill their opponent. In the arena, no treasures or weapons are allowed. As for the other rules, there are no rules. Of course, after the top 3 are decided, for fairness, the next 4 can be given a chance to challenge, but the challenged can't be a previous opponent. For example, if you've already lost to your opponent in the elimination rounds, then you can't choose to challenge them again. Does anyone have any objections? This rule was fair, so no one objected. Alright, since no one has any objections, then the competition will begin. Let's invite the participants to draw lots. Elder Zhao said. Lin Yi drew lots with the other participants. In the first round, Lin Yi's opponent was Pai Zhihai from the Hidden House Pai. This lot surprised Lin Yi, but against Pai Zhihai, Lin Yi was more than enough. Right now, Pai Zhihai was only an Earth-class early-phase peak physical practitioner, while Lin Yi was on the same level as him, but he was a spiritual practitioner. Spiritual practitioners were stronger than physical practitioners, and this was a well-known fact unless there was someone like the Golden Clock sect. Therefore, with Lin Yi's current strength, there was no doubt that he could defeat Pai Zhihai. Perhaps during the Ice Palace trial, Lin Yi wasn't a match for Pai Zhihai, who was an Earth-class early phase. At that time, Lin Yi was only a mystic mid-phase peak. However, with the passage of time, Pai Zhihai had only broken through one stage to the peak of early phase of Earth class, but Lin Yi had broken through several stages. This was the advantage of a spiritual martial practitioner over a physical martial practitioner. External experts could level up quickly in the early stages, but not in the later stages. However, internal experts were different. Lin Yi did not care about the opponents of the others. The 4 matches were going on at the same time. Lin Yi walked straight to the stage. Seeing this ranking, old Pai sighed in his heart. Why was he so unlucky? Before, in this competition, House Pai had made Pai Zhihai a seeded contestant. After all, Pai Zhihai's martial arts were very strong. One punch had the power to split mountains and split seas. With this kind of heavy punch, even an Earth-class late-phase peak would have to retreat. As long as he didn't meet the nemesis of the Golden Clock sect, his chances of winning were still very high. However, old Pai didn't expect the unexpected factor of Lin Yi. In terms of martial arts, Lin Yi was even stronger than Pai Zhihai. Just from the competition that day, he knew that Lin Yi's martial arts were much stronger than House Pai's. So, it was impossible to compete with Lin Yi in terms of martial arts. But if he didn't compete in martial arts, he couldn't compete in other things either. If Lin Yi could take a full-force attack from a sky-class early phase, could he? Old Pai's face was very ugly. He was like a deflated balloon, but there was nothing he could do. Grandpa, I'll go all out. Pai Zhihai looked at his grandpa's face. How could he not know what he was thinking? He gritted his teeth. Don't be rash. Old Pai waved his hand. That Lin Yi is unstoppable right now. You have no chance of winning against him. You're not that strong, so you rely on martial arts. But Lin Yi's martial arts are still on you. So, after you go up, try to stall for time and go through the motions. Save your strength and challenge the top 3. Yes. Pai Jihai didn't want to give up, but he knew how strong Lin Yi was. The funny thing was that Pai Jihai and Pai Jishan wanted to find Ling Yi for revenge. Now that Ling Yi was right in front of them and in the arena of life and death, they had to admit defeat. Thinking about how unwise it was for House Pai to provoke Lin Yi for the sake of the Xiao family. Lin Yi's follower was already so strong. Lin Yi must be even stronger. At first he still had some hope. But now all of the matches were with Lin Yi as the main character. Old Pai felt that it was time to avoid Lin Yi's sharp edge for a while. This kid wasn't easy to mess with. He was like a porcupine. If he wasn't careful, he'd get stabbed. Pai Jihai's aura weakened before the fight even started. He had hatred in his heart, but he couldn't vent it. He walked up the stage with Lin Yi and looked at Lin Yi with hatred, but he didn't attack. Pai Jihai was a martial arts fanatic, but he wasn't an idiot. He came up just to go through the motions. When Lin Yi attacked, he would admit defeat. Pai Jihai, I've killed many people from your house, Pai. But at the end of the day, my hatred towards your house is towards the common Xiao family, not your hidden house, Pai. So, I don't want to take your life in this fight. Lin Yi said faintly. It's easy for me to take your life. I don't want to bully you with your strength. How about this, you attack me. If I can't dodge it, you lose? How's that? No need. If that's the case, then there's no need to fight. I'm not as strong as you, so there's no shame in admitting defeat. Pai Jihai said with a fist salute. Pai Jihai's actions surprised Lin Yi. But seeing the smile on old Pai's face, Lin Yi guessed that old Pai knew he couldn't win, so he told Pai Jihai to save his strength and fight for the top 3 instead of wasting his energy and life on him. Lin Yi won. There was no doubt about it. Although old Zhao wasn't happy, he still announced the result. While the other 3 arenas were still fighting fiercely, Lin Yi's arena had surrendered without a fight. Boss, you're amazing. The fight hasn't even started, and he already admitted defeat. Han Xiaopa rubbed his eyes. He couldn't believe the scene in front of him, but it was true. Pai Jihai surrendered without a fight and Lin Yi won. Lin Yi shrugged and turned to look at the battle. Basically, the outcome was already decided. Chapter 21-20. Ma was the surname of the Golden Bell sect's disciples. But the masters all had the surname Jin. This was a rare situation in the sections. The Fire Wolf gang, on the other hand, didn't have any advantage in this level of competition. Although the disciples of the Fire Wolf gang were not afraid of fighting, they were still beaten by Tang Yuyu to the point where they didn't even have the strength to fight back. This kind of mindless puppet only knew how to blindly hit without any order. Therefore, Tang Yuyu easily found an opportunity and kicked them off the stage. Tang Yuyu won. On the other side, the Hidden House Yu's Yu Ba was fighting against the Hidden House Yu's disciple, winning by a small margin. On the other side, the Golden Bell sect's disciple Ma Dashan was fighting against the Hidden House Zhuang's disciple. Ma Dashan wasn't afraid of beating. The House Zhuang's disciples' attacks were like tickles to him, but he kept finding opportunities to ambush them. This was the difference between thinking and not thinking. Ma Dashan and the Fire Wolf gang's disciple were similar in nature, but the situation was completely different. In the end, when the House Zhuang's disciple wasn't paying attention, he used his body to knock the Zhuang's disciple off the stage and won. After a short break, they drew lots again. Lin Yi's opponent this time was Tang Yuyu. Grandpa, I have no chance of winning. Tang Yuyu used to be a mystic mid-phase peak, but after House Tang turned to House Yu and the Sky Elixir sect, they received a lot of elixirs and Tang Yuyu's strength increased as well. He was now an Earth-class mid-phase peak. But even with this strength, Tang Yuyu didn't want to fight against Lin Yi. First, he felt that he wasn't a match for Lin Yi, and second, if he kept fighting, it would hurt their relationship. If Lin Yi let him go because of Tang Yun or Auntie Xiaoming, then he would have an unfair advantage. Tang Yuyu was a righteous man. He didn't want this kind of victory. Of course, Elder Tang didn't know what Tang Yuyu was thinking. He only knew one thing and didn't know the other. He nodded and said, then the hidden Pai Jihai's choice is very wise. We, the hidden Tang family, can't be the first bird to stand out. Yes, so I also want to admit defeat, Tang Yuyu said. Conserve your strength. When the time comes to fight for second and third place, don't even think about getting first place. In my opinion, only the people from Golden Bell sect can compete with Lin Yi. Grandfather Tang said, I don't think they are a match for Lin Yi. Okay, I understand. Tang Yuyu nodded. Therefore, in this match, Tang Yuyu didn't even enter the arena. He directly cupped his fists at Lin Yi and said, Brother Lin, I admit that I'm no match for you. My sister is really lucky. After listening to Tang Yuyu's words, Lin Yi was somewhat puzzled. Tang Yuyu calling him brother made Lin Yi very puzzled. Was he familiar with Tang Yuyu? The more he talked, the more ridiculous he became. His sister had appeared, so who was Tang Yuyu's sister? Today there was Yu Dake and Yu Xiaoka. Would Tang Yuyu also have a sister he was familiar with? However, before Lin Yi had time to think, Grandfather Zhao helplessly announced the results of the match. The hidden Tang family admits defeat. The hidden Han family wins, successfully entering the top 2, and will fight for the championship. Tang Yuyu didn't say anything else. Although the hidden Tang family had fallen out with Tang Yun and Aunt Xiaoming, Tang Yuyu still recognized the sister and aunt. He was afraid that his grandfather would be unhappy if he said too much, so he turned around and returned to Grandfather Tang's side. How shrewd was Grandfather Tang? He was a sky stage master. How could he not hear Tang Yuyu's words? However, he didn't stop him. He had his own thoughts. Lin Yi was getting stronger and stronger. Now the hidden House House Zhao Golden Bell sect, and House Pai all had masters who suffered at the hands of Lin Yi. In comparison, the hidden Tang family and Lin Yi had the least conflict. Although the hidden Tang family had sided with the hidden House Yu and the Heavenly Elixir sect, there was no possibility of repairing their relationship with Lin Yi. However, what if the hidden House Yu and the Heavenly Elixir sect were finished? He had to leave a way out for the hidden Tang family, right? This way out was Tang Yuyu. He would let Tang Yuyu form a good relationship with Lin Yi and Tang Yun. Once the House Yu or the Heavenly Elixir sect lost their backing, Grandfather Tang would forcefully support Tang Yuyu and learn from the hidden Han family. He would have to recognize Lin Yi and Tang Yun no matter what. Of course, he didn't know that Lin Yi had already forgotten about him and Tang Yun. As long as Tang Yun appeared, Lin Yi had no memory of what happened. It can't be? He surrendered without fighting again? Han Xiaopa looked at Lin Yi, who'd gone to the arena for a spin, and was speechless. Everyone else was fighting to the death over there, and Lin Yi hadn't even moved a finger, and he'd won 2 matches in a row. If he did the same in the 3rd match, then he'd probably be the strongest fighter in the history of the Hidden House Summit. He won the championship by surrendering without fighting in the ring. Although Grandfather Zhao was helpless and didn't want to see this result, he knew what the other families were thinking. Who would want to touch a terrifying existence like Lin Yi? If they met him, they would either get injured or die. There was no third possibility. Instead of that, they might as well save their strength and fight for 2nd and 3rd place. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was already in the top 3. Even if he lost the championship match, he'd still be in the top 2 for sure. The worst he could do was 2nd place at the very least. On the other side, Ma Dashan of the Golden Bell sect won by a small margin. Yu Ba of House Yu lost. This result wasn't too surprising. After all, Ma Dashan had his specialties. His body was extremely strong and he used defense as offense. He always used sneak attacks when there was an opening. When you hit me, I'll use chi to defend. When you take a breather, I'll hit you. Yu Ba was strong, but he still fell for it. He was forced to the edge of the ring by Ma Dashan, and was pushed off. Yu Ba didn't want to admit defeat, but he couldn't do anything about it. If he continued to fight Ma Dashan, he wouldn't have any confidence in winning. So he decided to save his strength and challenge the others in the top 3. The last round of the championship, Lin Yi of the Hidden House against Ma Dashan of the Golden Bell sect. This match was going to be interesting. One was Lin Yi, who'd had no opponents this entire time, and all his opponents gave up without a fight. The other was the weakest of the two, Ma Dashan, who'd used his body to force his opponents out of the ring. You're not going to surrender? Lin Yi looked at Ma Dashan and asked faintly. Why would I surrender? Others might be afraid of you, but I'm not. Ma Dashan said coldly. Chapter 21-21. Humph, senior brother Ma is weaker than me. It's no surprise that you could injure him. Ma Dashan said, I'm here to avenge him. I want you to know the power of the Golden Bell cover. Oh, that sect leader of yours, Jin Wudi or something, died before he became invincible. Lin Yi said. Ma Dashan's face changed, his eyes burning with rage. Ma Zhu and Jin Wudi, they were the 2 greatest humiliation to the Golden Bell sect, and the one who caused all of this was this Lin Yi. Ma Dashan didn't dare say he had the confidence to kill Lin Yi, but he did have the confidence to knock Lin Yi off the stage and trample on his ranking. He was angry, but he wasn't reckless. I've seen your technique, it's just eso. You only destroyed a rock. You can injure senior brother Ma Zhu, but you can't beat the head sect. The head sect, he died because of your scheme. Oh, if you want a scheme, then so be it. Lin Yi looked at Ma Dashan and turned to Jin Gang. He's no match for me. If you don't want him to die, you better make him admit defeat. You. Jin Gang didn't expect Lin Yi to be this cocky, but he had faith in Ma Dashan. Ma Dashan was only Mystic late phase peak, but his mastery of the Golden Bell cover wasn't any weaker than Jin Wudi. Jin Wudi might have died to Lin Yi's lackeys, but Lin Yi himself might not be able to do anything to him. Otherwise, why didn't Lin Yi kill Ma Zhu? Moreover, Diamond had been paying attention to Lin Yi's matches along the way, but there were two matches he was most interested in. One was the martial arts match and the other was the defensive match. These two matches were the only ones that could be used as a reference for the arena. The might of Lin Yi's martial technique could only be considered ordinary in Diamond Drill's eyes. It was far inferior to the might of a heaven rank expert. He was confident that Ma Dashan could also take on a heaven rank initial phase expert's resistance. Therefore, even if Lin Yi used that martial technique, it would not be of much use to Ma Dashan. As for Lin Yi's ability to take hits, although it was also very strong, it was not impossible for Ma Dashan to find a flaw. As long as he made use of it reasonably, he could still take advantage of it. Just like in the previous two matches, although Ma Dashan was the weakest, he was the final winner. Thinking of this, Jin Gang said coldly, Lin Yi, don't be an alarmist. We will only know who will live and who will die in the arena. Oh, I'm just reminding you out of goodwill. Don't let your good disciple be killed by me. Don't get angry out of humiliation and take revenge. If that happens, your Golden Bell sect will be annihilated. Lin Yi said lightly. What a glib tongue. Jin Gang laughed coldly. If he dies in the arena of life and death, it's just his bad luck. This Hidden House Summit has been held for many years, and many disciples have died in the arena. I've never heard of any house holding grudges. Forget it. If that's the case, then I won't say anything more. Lin Yi sighed and shook his head. There's no need to say anything more. The nonsense is over. Let's begin. Jin Gang said. All right, Elder Zhao, please announce the start of the match. Lin Yi looked at Elder Zhao. All right, Hidden House Han and Golden Bell sect participants, take your positions. The arena match is about to begin. 3, 2, 1, begin. Elder Zhao announced. However, when Elder Zhao finished speaking, the match had already begun. However, Lin Yi did not move and neither did Ma Dashan. Ma Dashan looked at Lin Yi cautiously. Offense was his weakness, defense was his strongness, finding the enemy's weakness in defense, and forcing the enemy off the stage in one hit. This was Ma Dashan's style. Lin Yi laughed coldly in his heart. Through Ma Dashan's previous matches, he had already figured out Ma Dashan's tactics, so he was not in a hurry. He just stood there and looked at Ma Dashan without moving. Time ticked by. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. In the arena, the two people were still staring at each other. They had no intention of making a move. Originally, this match was supposed to be the most exciting and interesting match in the single arena challenge. At the start of the match, everyone present, be it the elders, the sect leaders, or the disciples of the various clans, all stared at the arena without blinking. They wanted to see the exciting match between these two experts. But now 20 minutes had passed and the two still had not made a move. This made the audience a little anxious and lost interest. What were these two playing at? If they wanted to fight, then hurry up and fight. Why wasn't anyone making a move? Jin Gang frowned. He did not expect Lin Yi to use such a tactic. Generally, when Ma Dashan fought with his opponent, the opponent would make the first move. Then Ma Dashan would defend all the way and look for opportunities to attack his opponent. But at this moment, Lin Yi was not making a move. Was Ma Dashan going to make the first move? Once Ma Dashan made a move, he could not fully concentrate on the mantra of the Golden Bell Shield. If he was slightly distracted, the Golden Bell Shield might not be as powerful as it was when it was channeled. What if he was knocked out of the arena? Therefore, Jin Gang was anxious and secretly scolded Lin Yi for being shameless. He clearly knew that this was the Golden Bell sect's tactic, but he followed suit and only defended without attacking. How was he going to continue fighting then? However, Jin Gang could not say anything. After all, Lin Yi did not make a move in the previous two matches and surrendered without a fight. Therefore, if he used Lin Yi not making a move as an excuse to attack Lin Yi, it would not be realistic. After thinking about it, he could only push Lin Yi and let Lin Yi make the first move. However, just as Jin Gang was about to speak, Lin Yi spoke first. On one hand, Lin Yi was paying attention to Ma Dashan's movements. On the other hand, he was paying attention to Jin Gang's movements. As long as one of them wanted to speak, Lin Yi would speak first. I say, Ma Dashan, is this all the Golden Bell sect has? I'm standing here and letting you hit me, and you're not going to make a move? Lin Yi laughed mockingly. Is it because of Ma Zhu and Jin Wudi that you guys are traumatized and don't dare to make a move? Why your bullsh***? Jin Gang was furious. This was what he wanted to say to push Lin Yi, but he did not expect Lin Yi to say it first. He was shocked and angry, but there was nothing he could do. He could only retort, Lin Yi, you know that our Golden Bell Shield is a defensive tactic. Are you purposely making life difficult for us with this tactic? Everyone can see that we've been using this strategy in our previous matches. Did you do it on purpose? Chapter 21-22. The energy bomb reappears you. Jin Gang said, I don't believe it. Why don't you make a move? Let's just keep this up and see who can last longer. Oh, actually, the reason why I'm not making a move is very simple. I might as well tell you my strategy. Lin Yi smiled and said, my strategy isn't to use defense as offense, but to wait for the opponent to admit defeat. Look at how angry you are, why bother? Admit defeat? Lin Yi, do you think my Golden Bell Gate will admit defeat? Dream on. Jin Gang said, if you're afraid of losing, then say what you're afraid of. Don't come up with so many useless excuses. Admitting defeat is actually for the good of your Golden Bell Gate. Because once I make a move, your disciple won't even have a chance to resist. He'll die in one move. Lin Yi shrugged and said, I only need one move. This is the funniest joke I've ever heard. Lin Yi, do you think you're very strong? Let me tell you, even yesterday Ma Dashin could still withstand the power of an early phase heaven class attack. Don't think that you're the only one who can. I don't believe that your next attack can be stronger than yesterday's. Don't lie to me to admit defeat, it's useless. Jin Gang said. Then I can only make a move. You're stubborn. Lin Yi looked at Ma Dashin with pity. You're dead. If you want to blame someone, blame it on that idiot Shifu of yours. He was too ignorant and arrogant. He killed you. Ma Dashin naturally had confidence in his master. He also felt that this Lin Yi was just trying to scare him into admitting defeat. How could he fall for it? Hearing that Lin Yi was about to make a move, he immediately activated his Golden Bell Shield. One move, just one move. If you don't die, it'll be my loss. Lin Yi looked at Ma Dashin and said, Alright Lin Yi, stop talking nonsense. If you want to make a move, then hurry up. This is what you said. If you don't die in one move, it's your loss. Vajra Drill answered Lin Yi's question on behalf of Ma Dashin. This was because Ma Dashin was currently channeling his Golden Bell Shield. If he spoke now, he would have to stop channeling his Golden Bell Shield. If Lin Yi took this opportunity to launch a sneak attack, it would affect Ma Dashin. Alright. Lin Yi nodded his head. He clasped his hands together and pushed them out. Then he shouted, Earth Rank Martial Technique, Third Form, Vacuum Oscillation Fist. After doing all this, Lin Yi quickly retreated all the way to the edge of the arena. With a loud boom sound, Lin Yi's true energy bomb directly hit Ma Dashin's body. In an instant, the mountains collapsed and the earth cracked. Ma Dashin's feet landed on the ground. The entire stone arena exploded into countless small fragments. Sand and stones flew all over the sky. In an instant, Ma Dashin's body was submerged. Lin Yi's true energy bomb had used up 3/4 of his true energy. Unless Ma Dashin had mastered the Golden Bell Shield, it was impossible for him to survive. When he was fighting with Ma Zhu, although Lin Yi had used up all the true energy in his body, Lin Yi's strength was still there. Now, even if he used 3/4 of his true energy bomb, it was still several times stronger than before. The power of this move, even Lin Yi did not expect it to be so powerful. Before, Lin Yi and Diamond Drill were facing off against Ma Dashin. Actually, they were all compressing the true energy bomb. When this true energy bomb was released, Lin Yi was shocked. After reaching the Earth rank, Lin Yi had never released such a powerful true energy bomb. Although he had used many true energy bombs, most of them were the kind that had been compressed for a period of time. Although they were also very powerful, they did not have such power. Although the arena was big enough, the true energy bomb brought wave after wave of power, and it still affected Lin Yi. Fortunately, this time Lin Yi reserved 1/4 of his true energy to protect his body. So, he did not end up in the same miserable state as last time. However, even if he had true energy to protect his body, it was certain that he would be injured. The entire arena was reduced to nothingness. More and more sand and stones were flying in the sky. Everything was dark. The elders and disciples below the arena were all silent. How could Lin Yi have such power? How could he have such power? They clearly saw that Lin Yi had used the strength of an early Earth rank to activate this so-called vacuum wave fist. Theoretically speaking, this was the third style of an Earth rank martial art. No matter how powerful it was, it should not have been possible for such a thing to happen. How powerful was that? Even Sky-class masters might not be able to do that, but Lin Yi did it. The elders and sect leaders of the various sects were all protecting their disciples to prevent them from being hurt by the powerful true chi fluctuations. On the other hand, the flying sand and pebbles didn't cause much harm to the ordinary practitioners of the mystic rank anymore. Boss, this move is too powerful. Han Xiaopa looked in the direction of the arena in awe and reverence. The flying sand and pebbles hadn't dissipated yet, and it was still dark over there, but the more it was like this, the more it proved the power of Lin Yi's move. Mr. Lin, you always exceed our expectations. Han Tianba laughed. To be able to receive Mr. Lin's protection is the fortune of our hidden house of Han. Be it Elder Yu, Elder Tang or Elder Zhao, all of them looked at each other in shock. The shock that Lin Yi had brought them was far greater than the previous matches. This move of Lin Yi's was enough to make them feel inferior. Lin Yi is definitely suppressing his strength. He is not an Earth class. Elder Yu frowned after a while. That's right, when he was in the sparring earlier he was using Earth class early phase strength, but now he's using Earth class early phase peak. He's obviously suppressing his strength to confuse us. Elder Yu said. Could it be the early Sky class? Elder Zhao said in shock. Early? Do you and I have that kind of power? Elder Tang shook his head. If the four of us work together, do we have a chance of taking him down? Elder Yu asked. It's hard to say, but if we work together we might be able to. Elder Zhao said. Elder Tang and Elder Yu, on the other hand, did not say anything. They both had their own thoughts. What they saw was Lin Yi's rise and what they thought was regret. They should have tried to get Lin Yi on their side, not ostracize, suppress and assassinate him. So if it was possible they didn't want Lin Yi to die. But the grudge was already formed. Wasn't it ridiculous to talk about getting him on their side? It seems that Lin Yi taking out 3 Earth classes with one move, one of which was at the late Earth class, was not a coincidence. Elder Yu said faintly, even if we take action, do we have the confidence to take out 3 Earth classes with one move? Chapter 21-23. Jin Gang's expression was the most terrifying. He looked at the flying sand and stones on the stage, and his heart was filled with anxiety. Previously he thought that Lin Yi was just trying to scare him. One move? Who did he think he was, that he could kill his opponent with one move? However, after seeing the power of Lin Yi's move, he regretted not listening to Lin Yi's words and letting Ma Dashan surrender. Second place was fine too, it was better than losing. But now there was no room for regret. So Lin Yi's words were true? Finally, the flying sand and stones on the stage dispersed, and there was only one person left on the stage. There was only one person, and that person was Lin Yi. Ma Dashan had already disappeared, but from the scattered sand and gravel, it was clear that he had perished. Disciple. Jin Gang roared and wanted to run up the stage, but his rationality won out in the end. Lin Yi's move had completely destroyed Ma Dashan. If he went up, would he be a match for him? At that time it would be like what Lin Yi said. If he went up and looked for a woman, then the Golden Clock Gate would really be the Golden Clock Gate. Thinking of this, Jin Gang calmed down. With Lin Yi's methods he could not fight recklessly. He only regretted not listening to Lin Yi's words earlier. Gate Master Jin Gang, don't be impulsive. On the stage, life and death are up to the heavens. This is the rule of the previous Hidden House Summit, and no one is allowed to retaliate. Old Zhao was afraid that Jin Gang would act rashly and hurriedly reminded him. I know this. Jin Gang sighed dejectedly as if he had suddenly aged a few years. He shook his head and sat down on the chair. His disciple had attacked and there was no way he could stop. All that was left was a bloody mess of sand and stones. The champion of the single arena challenge has been decided. It is the Hidden Han family. Next we'll be competing for second and third place. Old Zhao announced in a low voice. Originally, Lin Yi and Ma Dashan were supposed to be first and second place respectively. Between Rain 8 and Tang Yuyu the third place would be decided. But with Ma Dashan gone, it was now a fight for second and third place. Rain 8 and Tang Yuyu were rubbing their palms, wanting to fight for third place. After all, third and fourth place were completely different. But now, it had become a fight for second and third place and there was no need to fight anymore. The treatment for second and third place was the same, they could just take back their bets. As for the exchange fountain, it was entirely up to Lin Yi. If Linny wanted to trade, then so be it. If Linny didn't want to trade, then it didn't matter what treasures you took out. That was why Rain 8 and Tang Yu made a few symbolic gestures on the stage, and one of them admitted defeat according to their respective strength levels. Eighth brother Yu, I, Tang Yu, am not as strong as you. I will lose if we continue. I admit defeat in advance. Tang Yu cupped his fists and said. Both sides knew that fighting for second and third place was stupid. So, Tang Yu admitted defeat. Old Zhao didn't say anything. Rain 8 was stronger than Tang Yu. Even if Tang Yu was lucky enough to beat 8 Rain, it would be a huge loss. It was better to just admit defeat. The rankings have been decided. First place is the Hidden Han family, second place is the Hidden Yu family, and third place is the Hidden Tang family. Is there anyone who wishes to challenge? Old Zhao asked. Originally, those who didn't make it to the top 4 and were eliminated wanted to pick up some scraps. They wanted to see if the top 3 had exhausted themselves in the arena. Then they would challenge them. But who would have thought that 8 Rain and Tang Yu wouldn't waste anything? They easily finished their fights, preserving their strength. They didn't seem to be exhausted at all. There was no chance of winning if they challenged them now. Those who hadn't made it into the top 4 and had been eliminated before were hoping to pick up some scraps. They wanted to see if any of the top 3 had exhausted themselves in the ring, so they could challenge them and take advantage of the situation. But who would have thought that Rain 8 and Tang Yu wouldn't waste anything, and would easily finish their fights, preserving their strength and not showing any signs of exhaustion. There was basically no chance of winning if they challenged them now. As for Lin Yi, no one wanted to challenge him. The arrogant Golden Bell clan disciple Ma Dashan was a good example. Isn't your Golden Bell shield powerful? No matter how powerful you are, you'll be smashed to pieces. If there isn't, then the top 3 families can come and collect their bets. Old Zhao looked at Lin Yi with a complicated expression. Did he win again? This hidden noble house summit had become a competition specifically for Lin Yi. It was a competition for Lin Yi to show off. Lin Yi looked at the bet between House Yu and he paused. This was because the Hidden Tang family's bet this time was a golden elixir of energy. This type of elixir could instantly increase a person's strength in a fight. Lin Yi saw Yu Dake use one during the fight against the Monkey King. This elixir, compared to Heibao's method of increasing strength, had much less side effects and harm. After all, the side effect of using this elixir was a few days of no energy, and it would take time to recover. This elixir stimulated the potential of the human body. But after a few days there were no more side effects, and so Lin Yi was more interested in this elixir. Lin Yi had seen the recipe and properties of this elixir in Zhang Liju's notes before. The ingredients weren't expensive, but they were rare. But the price wasn't a problem for Lin Yi right now. The problem was that he didn't have the channels. Most of these ingredients were sent out by the ancient sects, and Lin Yi didn't have the channels to buy them yet. This elixir, on the other hand, didn't have that many side effects for Lin Yi. He could use the jade space to make up for the overexertion of stamina, and so to Lin Yi this elixir's flaws were the same as having no flaws at all. What moved Lin Yi the most was that it could instantly increase the body's potential, which meant speeding up the circulation of the heart, allowing the person's strength to reach the limit. What Lin Yi was thinking was, could this elixir shorten the time he needed to compress chi into a bullet? Although the Zhen Qi Tsunami bullet was very powerful, the time it took to compress it was too long. Just like today, if it wasn't for the fact that he and Ma Dashan didn't fight for a long time, and that they didn't move at all, as well as the argument with Diamond Drill, Lin Yi definitely wouldn't have enough time to compress the chi bullet. However, other than fighting against someone like Ma Dashan, where else would he get such an opportunity to fight against others? Whether it was Yu Shisan who pinned Guan Xan down or Feng Erbiang who attacked Su Shihan, they all attacked immediately, giving Lin Yi no time to compress the chi bullet. Chapter 21-24. Of course this was just Lin Yi's guess. Whether this extreme vigor Golden Dan could fulfill Lin Yi's vision was yet to be verified. What do you want? I want the extreme vigor Golden Dan in your hands. Lin Yi looked at Tang Yu and asked. The Hidden Tang family actually had a pill heart? This made Lin Yi a little surprised. It seemed like the Hidden Tang family had a strong foundation. It was not surprising that the Hidden Tang family had a pill. He relied on the Hidden Right family and the Heavenly Elixir sect. Naturally, he had more advantages than the other hidden families. This extreme vigor Golden Dan was given to him by the Hidden Right family. Using it as a wager meant that the Hidden Tang family did not value it. There should be a lot of it. Since the Lin brothers want it, then I'll give it to you. Tang Yuyu smiled and said, the small rejuvenating pill in Lin brothers' hands, can you give it to me? Oh, I'll give it to you. Linny was speechless. This hidden right family always bet on things like small rejuvenating pill, meridian unblocking pill, and foundation building pill. It was obvious that they did not want to give Lin Yi anything good. They were worried about Lin Yi. However, Lin Yi's action made the right family and Kenzi slightly stunned. Lin Yi actually used a small rejuvenating pill to exchange for an extreme vigor golden dan? Was Lin Yi sick? The extreme vigor golden dan and the small rejuvenating pill required materials of similar value. However, the small rejuvenating pill was a Huang level 2 pill, while the extreme vigor golden dan was a Huang level 1 pill. The value of the two could not be compared. Was Lin Yi sick? Using a Huang level 2 pill to exchange for a Huang level 1 pill? If Lin Yi needed the extreme vigor golden dan, then it was also unreasonable. Who would use it? Exchanging a Huang level 2 pill for a Huang level 1 pill? If he wanted to exchange, he should use something else, right? Besides, Lin Yi was an alchemist. He could refine pills by himself. There was no need to exchange at all. That was why Lin Yi's actions were baffling. Old Right Kanzi and Old Tang Kanzi had specifically informed Old Right Kanzi to place a bet on this first-grade extreme vigor golden pill. Their purpose was to make sure that after Lin Yi won, Lin Yi would like to have a look at Lin Yi. Wasn't Lin Yi unwilling to use the pill as a wager? Then he would definitely give him the pill. Of course, using a first-grade pill as a wager was already a little against the rules of the Hidden Noble House Summit. Although the level of the wager wasn't clearly stated, everyone's wager was about the same. Wasn't it a little inexcusable to take out a wager that was lower than the others? However, this time, surprisingly, no one objected because everyone had seen Lin Yi win so many matches in a row. They had long thought that the winner would be Lin Yi's family. This arena was originally agreed to be House Yu's victory, and the Golden Clock sect and the other hidden houses would throw the match. However, with Lin Yi's participation, no one threw the match. Even if they threw the match or not, it would still be Lin Yi's victory. They might as well compete in strength. As for the hidden House Yu's wager, Lin Yi didn't care about it at all. It was just a jade pillow that could support Han Lian's cultivation. It could allow the practitioner to consolidate their realm even when they were asleep. This thing was simply a support item. In a place with little chi, it had little use. It was a basic item. Lin Yi, on the other hand, entered the jade space every day to train Han Lian. This pillow was useless to him. Moreover, what good could it be if House Yu was willing to take out? After trading with Tang Yuyu, Lin Yi prepared to leave with his winnings, with Han Tianba and Han Xiaopa following behind him. The three of them left the training grounds, leaving behind a group of sighing old Kanzi and the head of the sect. This Lin Yi used a second-level pill to exchange for a first-level pill. What's the meaning of this? After Lin Yi left, Old Kanzi and Right Kanzi couldn't help but ask. This was the question they had been holding in for a long time. Who knows? Old Kanzi and Right Kanzi found it strange as well. He also felt that Lin Yi's actions were a little strange. You, do you know? Meh. Tang Yuyu shook his head and smiled bitterly. To be honest, I was just giving it a try. I didn't expect Brother Lin Yi to agree to it. But he did. It surprised me. That's strange. Could it be that Lin Yi urgently needs this extreme energy golden pill? Old Kanzi asked curiously. But doesn't he know how to refine it himself? Maybe. I think it's because of Tang Yunsis. Maybe Lin Yi bro gave Tang Yunsis face and let us exchange something good? Tang Yuyu hesitated and said. Is that so? Old Ken was surprised, but he shook his head. Because of Tang Yun? Then he didn't go easy on us in the previous matches. I know. You, maybe it's because of you. As long as you are in the match, Lin Yi will look at us differently. But without you, he treated us the same. I see. Tang Yuyu smiled bitterly. Although he was suspicious, he felt that Lin Yi didn't seem to be very close to him. At least he didn't say anything unnecessary. Forget it. Who cares what Lin Yi thinks? Old Ken of the Right frowned. Old Ken of the Tang, Old Ken of the Right, could it be that you want to repair your relationship with Lin Yi? That's naturally impossible. Old Ken said. We're on the same side now, I just want Yueli Ken to use Lin Yi and get some good stuff out of him. That's more like it. Old Kanzi and Old Kanzi nodded. Alright, disperse. I'm going to go back and study tomorrow's match. Lin Yi had consumed a lot of chi. Naturally, he needed to go back and recover. Although Lin Yi had released his power, it wasn't too safe here. If these people attacked him together, or if Diamond Drill lost his mind and fought with Lin Yi, then Lin Yi wouldn't have the ability to deal with it. And so, of the 36 stratagems, retreating was the best. Lin Yi decided to return to his temporary residence first. Boss, it's actually another champion. I'm both nervous and looking forward to tomorrow's duel challenge. Boss, do you think I'll cause you any trouble? Han Xiaopa asked nonstop as soon as he returned to his temporary residence. No, we'll talk about this tomorrow. I'm tired, I want to rest for a while. Lin Yi said. He sat cross-legged on the bed and activated the second stage of the Art of Dragon Mastery. He quickly recovered the qi in his body. Okay boss, you rest. Han Xiaopa quickly nodded and said. In the blink of an eye, it was the last day of the summit. The Duel Arena Challenge was the last match of the Hidden Aristocratic Families Summit. It was said that there would be an additional match after this match, but the details had not been announced yet. With the hidden house of Han's information channels, they were unable to find out anything. Chapter 21-25. Xiaopa, for today's duel, let's just treat it as joining in on the fun. If we can win, then we'll win. If we can't, then don't force yourself. Lin Yi said, these days we've won so many matches in a row. I'm afraid that the other hidden houses and sects will do something to us. They won't dare do anything to me for now, but we can't not let them make a move on you. If they do, just admit defeat. It's just a match, we can afford to lose. I understand, boss. Thanks for the reminder. Han Xiaopa's heated mind calmed down in an instant. Yes, he'd won a lot of matches in the past couple of days, but that was all thanks to Lin Yi's hard work, and it had nothing to do with him. Lin Yi was confident that he could win today's duel, but Han Xiaopa wasn't. He had leveled up to an Earth-class early phase, and had been practicing Lin Lian's Forest Thousand Changes for the past 2 days. However, he could only barely activate the first form, and wasn't very familiar with it yet. So with his current strength, he'd most likely be a punching bag once he went up on stage. When the time came, others would take advantage of this weakness and bypass Lin Yi to deal with him. At first, Han Xiaopa's thought was to grit his teeth and persevere no matter what, but Lin Yi's words made him understand that he couldn't be hot-headed. Otherwise, he'd be at a disadvantage. If someone killed him in the ring, there'd be no place for him to reason. Han Qianba smiled in relief. He could tell that Han Xiaopa was a little hot-headed yesterday, but he didn't want to dispel his enthusiasm. But now that these words came from Lin Yi's mouth, Han Xiaopa understood a few things. Is the head of the hidden house Han here? The first match of the day, the duel is about to begin. Old Qin, please bring your contestant, Qin Zi, and the wager to the meeting room to register and place their bets. Today's duel is a duel, so the wager is also double. The Zhao house's disciple, Qin Zi, said. Double? Lin Yi's lips curled into a cold smile. It seemed like these hidden aristocratic families were waiting to make a comeback in this competition. It seemed that they had considered Han Xiaopa as the weakest link. If he could defeat Han Xiaopa in the arena, then no matter how strong Lin Yi was, it would be useless. After all, the rule of the Duel Arena Challenge was that if one of them lost or admitted defeat, then both of them would lose. Boss, it looks like they're prepared. They're planning to get their capital back at the end? After Han Xiaopa calmed down, he also realized the sinister plot of the others. It doesn't matter. It's just a double. So what if I lose? We've won enough. Lin Yi smiled and said indifferently, in comparison, this is just a drop in the ocean. You're right. We've won so many matches. Losing this little bit is nothing. Han Xiaopa said, at first, our hidden Han family's plan was to lose all the matches except for the racing competition. It's already very good, but the result is completely unexpected. It doesn't matter to us. As long as Mr. Lin thinks it's okay to give up, then there's no problem. Han Qianba laughed. The three of them chatted and laughed as they arrived at the hidden Zhao family's meeting hall. Originally, the hidden aristocratic families Kanzi and Han Zi thought that they had raised the stakes. Moreover, it was obvious that Lin Yi was at a disadvantage in this competition. Why were Lin Yi's trio still chatting and laughing? Could it be that they had some trump card? However, the trio had already arrived, and it wasn't convenient for them to discuss or research. Hence, after registering the participant list and wagers, Old Qin Zhao announced. This match is a Duel Arena Challenge. The rules are similar to yesterday's Duel Arena Challenge, and no exceptions will be made. The rules are similar to yesterday's Duel Arena Challenge, and there must be 2 people on each side. Golden Bell Gate's Qi Quan. At this point the atmosphere was a little sad. The head of the Golden Bell Gate, Diamond Drill, did not come to watch the competition today, which showed how heavy his heart was. His younger brother Han Zi was injured. How could he participate in the competition? Old Kanzi Zhao paused for a moment, then continued, next there are 8 families and sects left. The top 4 will be decided by drawing lots, and then the top 2 and 3rd place will be decided by drawing lots. The final winner will be decided from among the top 2. Just like yesterday, if you don't want to participate in the competition, you can mention it now. Otherwise, in the arena, everyone has their own destiny. Unless one party voluntarily admits defeat, it is entirely possible to put their opponent on the ground. Since it is a dual arena challenge, as long as one of the contestants from both teams gives up or admits defeat, the entire team will be the loser. In addition, no fangs or weapons are allowed in the competition. As for the other rules, there are no rules. After the top 3 have been decided, for the sake of fairness, the next 4 contestants can be given a chance to challenge. However, the person being challenged must not be their previous opponent. For example, if you have already lost to your opponent in the previous elimination round, you can't choose to challenge them again. In view of the special circumstances of the Qianshan Gate, their battle style is 1 man and 1 beast, man and beast as one. Therefore, only one person is allowed to bring 1 spiritual beast into the arena, which is considered a 2 versus 2 battle. Does anyone have any objections? This rule was the same as yesterday and it seemed very fair. Therefore, no one raised any objections, including Lin Yi's side. Alright, since no one has any objections, then the competition will begin. We will now draw lots to decide the order of the competition. Old Kanzi Zhao nodded and said. Chapter 21-26. Pai Zhihai was only at the peak early phase of Earth class, while Pai Zhishan was only at the early phase of Earth class, the same level as Han Xiaopa. On top of that, he was a physical practitioner, which made him slightly weaker. Han Xiaopa was no match for his opponent. It's okay, just be careful of Pai Zhihai. Pai Zhishan is the same level as you, so you're evenly matched. Between him and Zhihai, you'd rather be beaten by Pai Zhishan than Zhihai. Lin said. Okay, I understand, boss. Han Xiaopa nodded. Pai Zhihai was still holding a grudge for admitting defeat in the single arena, so he wanted to make a comeback in this duel. Elder Pai. Lin Yi stopped in his tracks and turned to look at Elder Pai. What is it? Elder Pai saw Lin Yi's eyes and his heart skipped a beat, but he pretended to be calm. Nothing, I just wanted to tell you, 1 move, only 1 move. Lin Yi smiled. Don't think that you've won just because you beat Han Xiaopa. I can take out 2 people in 1 move when I first get on the stage. Are you threatening me? Old Man Pai's face changed. He had discussed this with Pai Zhishan and Pai Zhihai. Pai Zhihai was confident that he could take out Han Xiaopa in 1 hit. That way, no matter how strong Lin Yi was, he'd have to admit defeat. Plus, from the way Lin Yi and Ma Dashan fought, it was clear that Lin Yi was very arrogant. He was the type to wait for his opponent to make the first move. This way, they could take advantage of the fact that Lin Yi hadn't made a move yet. This was why Pai Zhishan and Pai Zhihai were so confident. However, Lin Yi changed his strategy this time. He wanted to fight the moment he got on the stage. Elder Pai didn't expect Lin Yi to have the same idea. He couldn't help but worry. It's not a threat, but you can interpret it however you want. I'm just giving you a friendly reminder. Lin Yi said lightly, I don't want you to be as brainless as diamond drilled. This. Old Pai's expression changed. Pai Zhishan and Pai Zhihai, who were about to go on stage, stopped as well. This was a blatant threat, but Pai Zhishan and Pai Zhihai couldn't think of anything else other than being annoyed and frustrated. If Lin Yi said it was 1 move, then it was 1 move. Putting aside the fact that Lin Yi had once killed 3 Earth rank experts with 1 move, Lin Yi's martial technique on the arena yesterday was enough to kill 2 people in a second. Don't think I don't know what you're thinking. Targeting Han Xiaopa? Very well, let's see who's faster. Lin Yi said faintly. Who? Elder Pai took a deep breath. But he was still the head of a house. He had a certain level of tolerance and shrewdness. Even though Lin Yi's threat made him lose face and it was hard to make a choice, he still made his choice. Elder Pai wasn't an idiot. This double elimination tournament was agreed upon by the Hidden House Zhuang. No matter how strong the Hidden House Pai was, they could only get 2nd or 3rd place. Plus, with the Qianshan sect, who knew if they would suddenly rise up again. Plus, with Lin Yi's side, the Hidden House Pai's chances of getting into the top 3 were very slim. So rather than being pushed out of the top 3, they might as well surrender now. After all, Lin Yi had already said this much. If the Hidden House Pai didn't come to their senses, then they'd be dead meat. If they died, people would laugh at him and say that he didn't know what was good for him. Lin Yi had already warned them and they still wanted to fight? Wasn't there something wrong with them? Since Mr. Lin has already said this, then we, the Hidden House Pai, can only surrender. Elder Pai smiled faintly. But the one we're afraid of is you, Mr. Lin, not Han Xiaopa. If we're talking about instant kills, we can kill one on the arena, but we don't want to lose two just because of one. That's not worth it. Plus there's no point. Lin Yi nodded. That's for the best. I have a lot of enemies here and I hope you'll make the right choice, Elder Pai. Don't regret it. Mr. Lin, I've said it before. The hatred between us is built on the Xiao family. There's no big conflict between us. I'll make sure that Xiao family doesn't mess with you. We won't have any conflicts of interest in the future, so why talk about enemies? Elder Pai laughed. He was just a physical practitioner at the early phase of Sky Class. Lin Yi could take a full power strike from a spiritual practitioner at the early phase of Sky Class, so he might be able to take a hit from Elder Pai. As long as Lin Yi could take it, then he could retaliate. That would be devastating. Elder Pai knew that he wouldn't have been able to survive Lin Yi's attack yesterday, so it didn't matter if he felt wronged or not, or if Lin Yi and his lackeys had taken out a bunch of masters in the past. All he could do was hold his nose and bear with it. This was the world of practitioners. The strong ruled. Without strength, you had to compromise or else you'd be killed. That's good. Lin Yi nodded. Pai Jishan, Pai Jihai, just admit defeat. Elder Pai said to his two grandsons. Admitting defeat in front of Mr. Lin isn't something to be ashamed of. Acting tough in front of Mr. Lin is. Yes? Pai Jishan and Pai Jihai didn't like it, but they knew that Elder Pai was speaking the truth. They had the ability to kill Han Xiaopa, but Lin Yi could kill them as well. It wasn't worth it at all. They might as well admit defeat. So Pai Jishan and Pai Jihai cupped their fists. We're no match for Mr. Lin Yi. We admit defeat. But the Hidden House Pai's words were very artistic. They said that they would admit defeat to Lin Yi, not to the Hidden House Han. Although the result was the same, the meaning was different. Lin Yi didn't expose them and Han Xiaopa didn't care. House Han was already on Lin Yi's side. So what? You can't eat the grapes and say that the grapes are sour. You want to be Lin Yi's lackeys, but he won't accept you. It's okay. When you have a powerful boss, Han Xiaopa, will also admit defeat. Han Xiaopa didn't feel ashamed at all. Instead he felt proud. Elder Pai was nice to Lin Yi but not to Han Xiaopa. He snorted and left the stage with Pai Jishan and Pai Jihai. Chapter 21-27. The other two arenas were still fighting intensely, and the winner had already been decided. This was quite surprising, but it was understandable that the Hidden House Pai had admitted defeat. No one called them cowards. If you wanted to call them cowards, why don't you go challenge Lin Yi? Boss, you're amazing. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to do it, but with just a few words from you, the Hidden House Pai admitted defeat. They were so cocky before, but they were just paper tigers. Han Xiaopa said excitedly. It's just luck they insisted on fighting. Who knows, you might have gotten hurt. Lin Yi said. If I get hurt they'll just die. As long as they're not stupid, they know what's important. Han Xiaopa didn't care. Lin Yi smiled. He didn't comment, nor did he explain further. After about half an hour, the results of the other matches were out as well. The top four were the Hidden House Han, the Hidden House Zhuang, the Hidden House Yu, and the Qian Mountain Sect. The Hidden House Yu looked at the list of the top four and wanted to give up. These old men weren't idiots. Elder Yu saw that Hidden House Pai met Lin Yi and immediately admitted defeat. If they were unlucky enough to draw Lin Yi, then they'd just admit defeat. If they drew someone else, then they'd give it a try. The top four battles began after a short break. The order of drawing was out as well. Hidden House Han against Hidden House Zhuang, Hidden House Yu against Qian Mountain Sect. Lin Yi didn't care about this result, but the Hidden House Yu took in a cold breath. The Qian Mountain Sect's one-man and one-beast formation wasn't favored by the old men of the Hidden Houses. After all, they felt that a man and beast working together wasn't as good as a human working together. So, man and beast should be the easiest to deal with. Taking down one would be a win. But the battle between House Yu and Qian Mountain Sect made Hidden House Yu realize the danger. The combination of one man and one beast from the Qian Mountain Sect wasn't just for show. Their teamwork was even better than that of humans. The scariest thing was that the yellow-class middle-stage spiritual beast could actually fight against an earth-class late-stage expert. With one slap, It could slap the Earth-class late-stage expert from the Hidden U family to the ground. Different spirit beasts' ranks and strengths didn't have much of a relationship. Some spirit beasts might not even be a match for a golden-class human at Heaven class, but some spirit beasts at golden class already had very powerful battle techniques. This spirit beast from the Qianshan sect was one of them. But Lin Yi wasn't a stranger to this. Back in the tomb, the spirit beast guarding the tomb was also a yellow-class spirit beast, but it was able to beat Boss Yu to the point where he couldn't even fight back. In front of General Wei Wu, however, it was like an obedient baby. The hierarchy in the world of spirit beasts was completely different from that of human cultivators. The two Zhuang brothers had heard of how ferocious and powerful Lin Yi was. During the single arena challenge, his opponents kept surrendering. And today the two Pai brothers surrendering as well. This made Zhuang Niadeo and Zhuang Niapeo very confused and unconvinced. Was this Lin Yi really that strong? One had to know that the two Zhuang brothers weren't weak either. They had been training in joint attacks since they were young. To put it bluntly, with their current joint attack strength, they wouldn't even be at a disadvantage against an early-stage Sky-class master. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that they were invincible under Sky-class. So when they first heard of Lin Yi's name and his battle record, they didn't care. After drawing Lin Yi, they didn't say much and rushed to the stage, waiting for Lin Yi to come up. Before, Zhuang Niadeo and Zhuang Niapeo didn't know who Lin Yi was because they only appeared during the double arena challenge. They didn't watch any of the previous matches. Naturally, they didn't know that Lin Yi was Ling Yi from the Ice Palace test. Plus, during the match between Lin Yi and the Hidden House Pai, the Hidden House Pai surrendered. Lin Yi didn't even go up the stage. Naturally, they didn't see Lin Yi. Where is Lin Yi? Come up and accept the challenge from the two brothers of House Zhuang. Zhuang Niapeo said in a very imposing manner. Lin Yi and Han Xiaopao went to the toilet and didn't hear Zhuang Niapeo's arrogance. The battle hasn't started yet, don't be noisy. Old Zhao frowned. These two brothers, Zhuang Niapeo and Zhuang Niapeo, had just eliminated the Hidden House Zhao's disciple. Although old Zhao hated Lin Yi, he didn't have a good impression of these two brothers. Brother, I think this Lin Yi doesn't live up to his name. Later, you and I will work together to hold him back, then find a chance to attack that Han Xiaopao. Zhuang Niapeo said. Of course, us two brothers working together will be invincible. Zhuang Niapeo was also very confident. Previously, the two of them were invincible, sweeping away the two disciples of House Zhao. It was basically a complete victory, so he was very confident. That Lin Yi, is he coming or not? If he doesn't come, it's equivalent to admitting defeat. Zhuang Niapeo said impatiently. Admit defeat? Lin Yi didn't say anything, but Han Xiaopao laughed coldly. If you know what's good for you, then admit defeat. Don't lose your life. Don't blame me for not reminding you. Once my boss makes a move, any expert can be eliminated. Any expert can be eliminated? Us two brothers working together, we're invincible under heaven rank. Let's see how he'll eliminate us. Zhuang Niapeo laughed coldly. Oh, is that so? Lin Yi and Han Xiaopao walked over together, looked at the two brothers and laughed coldly. What do you mean by invincible under heaven rank? When I was in mystic rank, I've already killed two people who claimed to be invincible under earth rank. Now that I'm in earth rank, I'll kill two people who claim to be invincible under heaven rank to practice. Bullsh *t. Zhuang Niapeo wanted to say Bullsh *t, but when he saw Lin Yi's face, he immediately froze on the spot as if he was electrocuted and couldn't say a word. Niapeo, what's wrong? Zhuang Niaoqiang was confused when he saw Zhuang Niapeo. He followed Zhuang Niapeo's gaze, and when he saw Lin Yi, he shivered and said subconsciously, Master Ling? Ling Yi had left too deep of an impression on the two brothers. Zhuang Niapeo was a heaven-defying existence, and even he was crippled by Lin Yi. How could the two of them compete with Ling Yi? Zhuang Niapeo thought that even now, the two of them might not be Zhuang Niapeo's match, right? The chrysanthemum art of wasp absorption was a heaven-defying existence. It sucked away the chi of others who could withstand it. But Ling Yi could, and not only did he withstand it, he even crippled Zhuang Niapeo. Chapter 21-28. And the rumors about Lin Yi made Zhuang Niaoqiang realize that Lin Yi was not a good person. He was able to cripple the strongest person under Earth class when he was Mystic class. Could he not cripple anyone under Heaven class when he was in Earth class? What's more, this Lin Yi might be hiding his true strength, he might be a heaven-class master. Thinking about this, Zhuang Niapeo and Zhuang Niapeo looked at each other. They could see the fear in each other's eyes. The arrogance from before suddenly turned into silence. If only one of them was afraid, it would be better, the other would be cheering for them, but now both of them were afraid. This was the most fatal weakness of fighting in the ring. You two, are you in a hurry to die? The Ice Palace trial didn't allow you to kill people. This is the life and death arena. Lin Yi looked at Zhuang Niaoqiang and Zhuang Niapeo and said, since you're on stage, don't go down. Master Ling, don't attack first. Zhuang Niapeo quickly jumped down from the stage as if his tail was stepped on. I'm below the stage, you can't attack me. Yes, Master Ling. Zhuang Niaoqiang also jumped down and said, we admit defeat. According to the rules, after we admit defeat, you can't attack us anymore. This turn of events made everyone dumbfounded. They didn't expect these two brothers to be so stupid. They were arrogantly boasting on stage before, but now that Lin Yi was here, they immediately jumped down from the stage and admitted defeat, as if they were afraid that Lin Yi would kill them once he got on stage. However, Zhuang Niapeo and Zhuang Niaoqiang were not ashamed at all. Instead, they felt that they had done the right thing. Oh, since you admit defeat, then forget it. Lin Yi said, Old Man Zhao, you can announce the results. The Hidden Han family has emerged as one of the top 2 contenders. Old Man Zhao announced. What made him speechless was that Lin Yi had not fought a single match since yesterday. All his opponents had admitted defeat, and admitted defeat again. Boss, you are really impressive. The second brother of the Zhuang family was so arrogant before, but when you came he immediately admitted defeat. It's so funny. Han Xiaopa said. I fought with their boss before, Lin Yi said faintly. Ah, didn't they also have a boss? No wonder they were so arrogant. What happened to their boss? Han Xiaopa hurriedly asked. He's disabled, Lin Yi said. Crippled? Boss, you didn't do it, did you? Han Xiaopa exclaimed. If not me, why are they begging for mercy? Lin Yi laughed. I see. I was wondering why these two arrogant bastards suddenly became so weak. Han Xiaopa nodded. When the old man of the hidden house Zhuang heard that Lin Yi was the Ling Yi from the test, he didn't have any opinion on Niapo and Niapo admitting defeat. He completely agreed with their decision. Since Lin Yi was so strong, there was no need to fight him head-on. On the other side, the battle between the Hidden House Yu and the Qianshan sect had come to an end as well. The Hidden House Yu had received orders from Elder Yu to preserve their strength, and so after going up the stage and realizing that there was no chance of winning, they gave up. They didn't want to risk their lives and save their strength to fight against the Zhuang brothers. Originally, the Hidden House Yu's plan was for the two brothers to waste a lot of their strength in the battle with Lin Yi. It would be best if they got injured. This way they could easily defeat the two brothers and get third place. But now it seemed like this idea wasn't feasible. The two brothers were arrogant before, but after that they pretended to be weak. What kind of logic was this? The disciples of the Hidden House Yu didn't know about the situation and thought that the two brothers were playing some tricks. They didn't dare to be slow and fought with the Qianshan sect for a bit before admitting defeat. They were ready to fight the Hidden House Zhuang disciples for third place. The last battle for the championship, Hidden House Han against the Qianshan sect. I hope this will be the most exciting battle in this battle. Both sides are elites. I hope you won't end up losing like this. After all, everyone has high hopes for you. Old Man Zhao didn't want the Qianshan sect to admit defeat again. If that happened, Lin Yi would get the championship too easily. He didn't mind saying some things to the Qianshan sect. Admitting defeat is the act of a coward. We, the Qianshan sect, will never admit defeat. The one who spoke was the direct disciple of the Qianshan sect's headmaster. His name was Wujin Dao, and he was one of the best in the younger generation of the Qianshan sect who had formed a contract with a spirit beast. He already had a certain level of communication with the spirit beast, and their teamwork was considered to be very close. Of course, this kind of spiritual beast contract was actually established by living together day and night. It was not forcefully established. It was actually a very difficult thing to obtain the recognition of a spiritual beast. One must have enough patience and make the spiritual beast have a good impression of him. Only then would he be able to establish the contract step by step and fight together. This Wujin Dao was one of the stronger ones. He could control a golden-class mid-phase spirit wolf. This spirit wolf was extremely ferocious, and normal Earth-class late-phase peak experts wouldn't dare to fight it head-on. This was also Wujin Dao's pride. Last time he brought the spirit wolf to participate in the Ice Palace trial. He wanted to shine, but he didn't expect that his own strength exceeded the requirements of the competition and was eliminated prematurely. This was a humiliation for him. So this time the Hidden House Summit was full of energy, preparing to make a name for themselves. The Qianshan sect's agreement was that they would win the last additional battle. But now the situation was already messed up, and it wasn't the one-person-to-one battle situation anymore. With the addition of Lin Yi, who would win would depend on their own strength. So, the Qianshan sect also wanted to take back a champion in this duo arena challenge. When Wu Jindao finished speaking, the spirit wolf beside him also howled in agreement. Ao, boss, this guy doesn't seem to admit defeat? Han Xiaopa asked worriedly. Let's see. If it doesn't work, then we'll admit defeat. Lin Yi said. He didn't really care about winning or losing. Participating in the competition was nothing more than getting some good treasures back. No, we've already reached this stage. I can't admit defeat. Even if I have to grit my teeth and persevere, I have to persevere. Han Xiaopa gritted his teeth and made his decision. Chapter 21-29. But in terms of time it was too late. The rules were announced on the spot. Lin Yi didn't have the time to go back to get General Wei Wu. Even if he sent someone to deliver it, it would be too late. Both sides are ready. Get into position and get ready for the match. Elder Zhao waited for Lin Yi and Han Xiaopa to get on the stage and announced, 3, 2, 1, begin. Thus, following Old Man Zhao's words, the final battle for the championship had begun. Wu Jindao didn't give Lin Yi the chance to condense the Qi bomb. As soon as the battle started, he and the spirit wolf rushed towards Lin Yi and Han Xiaopa. Wu Jindao's opponent was Han Xiaopa and the spirit wolf's opponent was Lin Yi. This situation was the most sensible and difficult for Lin Yi to deal with. Wu Jindao was at the early stage of Earth class when he participated in the Ice Palace trial. Now he was at the peak of the early stage of Earth class. His leveling speed wasn't fast. It seemed like the Qian Mountain faction focused on communicating with spirit beasts. Their personal improvement speed wasn't as heaven-defying as those hidden families. Lin Yi frowned. He couldn't let Wu Jindao hit Han Xiaopa. Even if he was at the peak of the early stage of Earth class, it would be a one-sided fight against Han Xiaopa. Thus, in a hurry, Lin Yi channeled his inner force and struck out with the second form of Wood Forest Thousand Changes. Lin Yi's other martial arts couldn't hit both of them in one move unless it was a Qi bomb. But this Wood Forest Thousand Changes was different. One punch from the second form was equivalent to 2 punches. Boom, boom, Lin Yi's body rushed towards Wu Jindao and the spirit wolf. Strong Qi exploded and condensed on Lin Yi's fist. It transformed into 2 fists and smashed towards Wu Jindao and the spirit wolf. Originally, Wu Jindao thought that if Lin Yi wanted to attack, he could only choose one. It was either him or the spirit wolf. The spirit wolf had thick skin and flesh, so normal people couldn't get close to it. If Lin Yi went around the spirit wolf to attack Wu Jindao, then Wu Jindao could communicate with the spirit wolf and have him attack Han Xiaopa instead. This was the benefit of establishing a tacit understanding with spirit beasts. They could communicate at any time. However, Wu Jindao didn't expect that Lin Yi's one punch would turn into 2. Was there something wrong with his eyes? He didn't believe that Lin Yi's one punch could really become 2 punches. One real and one fake was a common situation in martial arts, but one turning into 2 was unheard of. It wasn't that Wu Jindao was ignorant, but he had never heard of it before. Not to mention him, even Elder Han, who possessed the Mu Lin Sin Thousand transformations, thought that this martial art was fake before Lin Yi used it. Only one punch was real and the rest were illusions to confuse people. Only after Lin Yi used it did he realize that the one punch turned into 2 or even 3 punches. Therefore, since Wu Jindao thought this way, he made a decision in his heart. He quickly used the spirit wolf's language to communicate with the spirit wolf. Don't worry about him. Out of these 2 punches, one is real and one is fake. We'll rush over together. No matter which punch is real, we'll block it. If it's fake, we'll rush over and knock Han Xiaopa out of the ring. Oh, the spirit wolf howled to indicate that it understood. Therefore, the man and the beast didn't slow down and rushed toward Lin Yi's martial art. Although Wu Jindao was afraid of Lin Yi's vacuum oscillation fist martial art before, Lin Yi was obviously not using that martial art. Judging from the energy fluctuations, although it was strong, it was definitely not too strong. Naturally, the second martial art naturally wouldn't be too strong. Even if Lin Yi was skilled in using it, it was impossible to reach a situation where the enemy was seriously injured in one move. At that time he exchanged so many moves with the earth-tier black-clothed man before killing him. Moreover, he used the third move to his limit. Bang bang, Wu Jindao and the spirit wolf were sent flying by Lin Yi at the same time. Although the man and the wolf weren't seriously injured, their eyes still flashed with disbelief. This disbelief wasn't about Lin Yi's strength, but about this martial art. Lin Yi clearly only threw one punch. How did it really turn into two punches? What kind of martial art was this? They had never heard of such a heaven-defying martial art, right? One punch could turn into two punches? Lin Yi sighed. This would force 1,000 transformations. Even if he used the fourth move, other than wasting the true energy in his body, it was impossible to kill Wu Jindao and the spirit wolf. When facing experts of the same level, it was impossible to say that one martial art could kill the opponent. The true energy bomb was simply a golden finger, but it couldn't be used at any time. This martial art is strange. Wu Jindao quickly stood up from his fall and instructed the spirit wolf, "You and I don't get too close. One on the left, one on the right. Although this martial art can turn one punch into two punches, the distance can't be too far." It had to be said that this Wu Jindao's brain was very good. He immediately found the way to break Lin Yi's martial art. The arena was huge, and if they were on the left and right, Lin Yi wouldn't be able to hit both of them at the same time even if he used the fourth form of 1,000 transformations. Even if he used 4 punches, he wouldn't be able to hit both of them. Unless he could use the 10th move, it would be impossible to hit such a large area of effect attack. But this was impossible. Lin Yi didn't even want to think about it. Right now, the only thing Lin Yi could do was to protect Han Xiaopa. Therefore, Wu Jindao and the spirit wolf closed in from the left and right. Lin Yi also quickly retreated and stood in front of Han Xiaopa, protecting him. "Oh well." The spirit wolf pounced on Lin Yi from the left. Han Xiaopa die. Wu Jindao closed in on Han Xiaopa from the right. This left and right two directions made it impossible for Lin Yi to use his martial art. And this arena was circular, there was no corner at all. Whether he stood on the edge or in the middle, he couldn't use the Wood Forest 1,000 transformations to fight the enemy. Wild Wolf Fist. Wu Jindao swung his fist at Han Xiaopa. His martial art was a set of martial art that was compatible with the spirit wolf. It was a martial art that was based on the spirit wolf's attack method. The power wasn't too great, but it focused on the unity of man and beast. If this wild wolf fist was used together with the spirit wolf, the power would naturally be incomparable. But if it was used alone, the difference was huge. However, in order not to fight with Lin Yi head-on and kill Han Xiaopa first, he could only separate from the spirit wolf. Otherwise, if the two of them were together and Lin Yi directly hit them with a killer move, they would be dead. Chapter 2130. Since Lin Yi didn't use it, he wouldn't give Lin Yi the chance to use it. He and the spirit wolf kept attacking separately. Although the effect was weak, it also prevented Lin Yi from using his ultimate move. If Lin Yi used his ultimate move, he and the spirit wolf would run. They wouldn't stand there like idiots from the Golden Bell sect and wait to be beaten. Lin Yi frowned and quickly made a decision. This wild wolf fist, Lin Yi could take it head-on, but this spirit wolf couldn't. This spirit wolf's attack power was obviously very strong. Lin Yi naturally knew that this spirit wolf wasn't easy to deal with after dealing with offensive-type spirit beasts in the ancient tomb. Therefore Lin Yi made a decision in an instant. He would use his back to take Wu Jindao's punch head-on, and he would use all his strength to deal with the spirit wolf. After making the decision, Lin Yi turned around to face the spirit wolf, while he and Han Xiaopa stood side by side, staring at the spirit wolf. Lin Yi's action stunned Wu Jindao. What did Lin Yi mean? Leaving his back to him? Letting him attack him and let Han Xiaopa go? Although his and the spirit wolf's pincer attack could cause great damage to Lin Yi, Wu Jindao immediately gave up on this idea. Because attacking Lin Yi might not necessarily kill Lin Yi. Since Lin Yi could take a full blow from an early-stage Heaven Stage Master, his and the spirit wolf's pincer attack probably wouldn't cause too much damage to Lin Yi. So Wu Jindao changed his target to Han Xiaopa. In fact, after seeing Wu Jindao's technique, Lin Yi knew that it wouldn't be able to do much damage to him. After all, Wu Jindao's technique was far too weak compared to the Earth-class black-clothed man's technique. Wu Jindao's move was equivalent to the Heaven and Earth stage man in Black's first move. So since he couldn't kill him, Lin Yi didn't care anymore. He channeled his inner force and prepared to use the fourth form of Frenzy Fist on the spirit wolf. Ha! Wu Jindao threw a punch at Han Xiaopa. Han Xiaopa's heart tightened. Although he didn't know what Lin Yi was doing, out of his trust in Lin Yi, he didn't make any rash movements. He just stood there motionless. However, Wu Jindao found it strange that when he punched, Lin Yi seemed to have eyes on the back of his head. His body directly went in the direction of his punch. In fact, Lin Yi didn't have eyes on his back, but he used the jade pendant to determine the direction of Wu Jindao. The stronger the danger warning signal, the more obvious the direction of Wu Jindao. Lin Yi didn't need to turn his head to determine it. However, Wu Jindao's skill had already been activated. It was impossible to retract it and change the direction at the last minute. He could only attack Lin Yi's back. Although attacking Lin Yi with the spirit wolf was the worst plan, Lin Yi had to attack Lin Yi first. However, at this moment, it was impossible to tell the spirit wolf to attack Han Xiaopa. Although the spirit wolf had some intelligence and could communicate with Wu Jindao, it was only a mid-stage golden rank spirit beast. Its intelligence wasn't too high. It couldn't be compared to General Weiwu or Skybolt Pig. It was only the intelligence of a Tomb Guardian spirit beast. Although he knew how to listen to Wu Jindao's orders, it was impossible for him to make a decision on the spot. Bang! Wu Jindao's fist landed on Lin Yi's back and made a loud sound. At this time Lin Yi moved. He used the fourth form of Frenzy Fist and attacked the spirit wolf. Bang! After Lin Yi was hit, the spirit wolf was hit as well. It was sent flying by Lin Yi's punch and fell heavily on the ground. However, this guy was really durable. The punch didn't cause any serious injury. It only struggled a little and got up. It still stared at Lin Yi with its eyes full of anger. However, Wu Jindao didn't give the next order, so it couldn't attack Lin Yi directly. Although Wu Jindao's attack wasn't as strong as the fourth form of the Earth-rank man in black, Lin Yi took the attack with his back without any defense. It wasn't a fist against fist, so the damage was naturally heavier. In fact, the most important thing was that the spirit wolf's damage to Lin Yi was greater than Wu Jindao's. Lin Yi didn't know what technique the spirit wolf was using. When his fist landed on its body, the strength of the backlash was enough to make the blood in Lin Yi's chest surge up. Lin Yi couldn't bear it and spat out a mouthful of blood. The depression in his chest was spat out and he felt much better. However, the problem in front of him hadn't been solved yet. Lin Yi couldn't be careless. He used the art of dragon mastery to quickly heal the injuries in his body while he vigilantly sensed the situation of the spirit wolf and Wu Jindao. Lin Yi, you're only a so-so. You spat out blood after one move of mine. Wu Jindao was overjoyed when he saw Lin Yi spitting out blood. He raised his fist and said to the spirit wolf, "Buddy, let's continue." Under Wu Jindao's summon, the spirit wolf rushed towards Lin Yi again. Lin Yi's previous punch had already brought out the spirit wolf's blood. The spirit wolf only wanted to bite off Lin Yi's neck and kill Lin Yi. As for Wu Jindao, he wanted to test if Lin Yi would continue to block in front of him if he attacked Han Xiaopa again. The previous time could be said to be a coincidence, but the second and third time couldn't be said to be a coincidence. However, this test disappointed Wu Jindao. Although Lin Yi didn't look back, Lin Yi's back seemed to have eyes. Wherever Wu Jindao's fist hit, Lin Yi's figure would appear there. Wu Jindao deliberately slanted a little this time and hit Han Xiaopa's left arm. This wasn't a fatal part, but Lin Yi still blocked in front of Han Xiaopa's left arm and took Wu Jindao's punch head-on. However, Lin Yi didn't care. Lin Yi's priority now was to kill or knock this spirit wolf off the stage. Wu Jindao's strength wasn't very great, but this spirit wolf was very fierce. Rather than saying that Lin Yi punched it with his fist, it was better to say that Lin Yi was going head-on with it. Therefore, Lin Yi was now surrounded by enemies. In front, he was going head-on, and behind him he was completely open for the enemy to hit. This kind of fighting style made Lin Yi very passive and at a disadvantage, but there was nothing he could do about it. The rules of this arena were too deceptive. If he was knocked off the stage, he would lose everything. Chapter 21:31. Lin Yi wiped away the blood at the corner of his mouth. This was the first time Lin Yi had encountered such a fearful battle, and it was incomparably frustrating. He wasn't this careful even when he was protecting Mengyao, Yushu, Shirhan, or Chengyi. After all, Mengyao, Yushu, and the others could run, but Han Xiaopa couldn't. He had to stay in the ring, and if he ran out of the ring's range, it would be the same as admitting defeat. In order to prevent Han Xiaopa from getting kicked out of the ring, Lin Yi could only keep protecting him. How is it? Lin Yi, it doesn't feel good fighting a spirit wolf, does it? Wu Jindao saw Lin Yi spit out blood again and laughed, My spirit wolf has copper muscles and iron bones. It's one of the best attack-type beasts. It doesn't show any weakness even when fighting a Sky-class early phase. While Lin Yi, if you don't admit defeat, then just wait for your death. One couldn't blame Wu Jindao for being arrogant. There weren't many young disciples like him in the Qian Mountain sect who could establish a contract with such a battle-type spirit beast. Furthermore, his spirit beast was the best of the best, so he was naturally full of confidence when facing an enemy. Plus, Lin Yi had been talked about like a god before, saying how strong he was, but when he got to the ring he found out that he could only take a beating. How could Wu Jindao not be full of confidence? Lin Yi frowned and didn't say anything, thinking about the value of this battle. His eyes glanced at the elders and sect masters below the ring. Seeing their gloating eyes, Lin Yi knew that if he admitted defeat now, then the fear these elders had for him from the previous matches would disappear. So Lin Yi gritted his teeth. No matter what, he had to hold on. If he really couldn't do it, then he would admit defeat. It doesn't matter, let's see if your spirit wolf dies first or if I die first. Lin Yi took advantage of the moment Wu Jindao said those words to speed up his chanting, healing the injuries in his body. Spirit wolf, this time you pretended to attack Lin Yi, but you were actually attacking Han Xiaopa. And I'll attack Lin Yi. Wu Jindao muttered to himself for a moment and decided to change tactics. However, he spoke in a language that only the spirit wolf could understand, so Lin Yi naturally did not understand. This time, Wu Jindao imagined that if Lin Yi used his back to receive his fist, Lin Yi would stand still and block it. Since the spirit wolf was attacking Han Xiaopa, it was impossible for Lin Yi to fight the spirit wolf head-on. After all, the spirit wolf's target this time was not Lin Yi but Han Xiaopa. It was impossible for him to go after Lin Yi. Although Lin Yi couldn't understand Wu Jindao's words, after Wu Jindao punched out, Lin Yi immediately noticed the difference in the jade pendant's warning signal. His heart trembled slightly. Wu Jindao was attacking him this time. Looking at the spirit wolf again, it was indeed rushing towards Han Xiaopa. Therefore Lin Yi made a prompt decision and turned around to block Han Xiaopa's back, letting the spirit wolf directly pounce on him. Wu Jindao noticed that Lin Yi suddenly turned around. He was also stunned, but his fist did not stop. He was not a spirit wolf, so his thinking was naturally not as old-fashioned as the spirit wolf. Seeing that Lin Yi went to block the spirit wolf, Wu Jindao immediately changed his target and went straight for Han Xiaopa. Lin Yi also saw this situation. He directly pushed Han Xiaopa out, then used the first form of Frenzy Fist to meet Wu Jindao. Wu Jindao had already made his move, so it was impossible to change his target. He directly met Lin Yi's first form of Frenzy Fist head-on. Wu Jindao's physical fitness was not as strong as the spirit wolf. Just the first form of Frenzy Fist was enough to make Wu Jindao vomit blood. He mainly relied on the cooperation between man and beast in battle. If he was alone he would be much weaker. At the same time the spirit wolf also directly hit Lin Yi's back. With a loud sound Lin Yi's internal organs were all dizzy. Cough cough. Lin Yi realized that the spirit wolf's attack was much more serious than Wu Jindao's attack. However, it was much more serious than Wu Jindao's attack. This spirit wolf's attack power was not one bit inferior to the Earth Stage black-clothed man he had met that day. Although, compared to the previous competition, the power of the Heaven Stage was much weaker. But it was already too much for the injured Lin Yi. However, Lin Yi did not care about the spirit wolf. Without stopping, he used the second form of Frenzy Fist and smashed it towards Wu Jindao. Lin Yi also saw that Wu Jindao could establish contact with the spirit wolf through the specialized beast language. Whoever the spirit wolf attacked was completely ordered by Wu Jindao. Since he found this pattern, then Lin Yi locked his target on Wu Jindao. As long as Wu Jindao did not change his order, this spirit wolf would not be smart enough to turn around and attack Han Xiaopa. It would definitely attack him. Therefore Lin Yi did not intend to give Wu Jindao a chance to communicate with the spirit wolf. After dealing with Wu Jindao, the spirit wolf was naturally nothing to be afraid of. Boom, the second form of Frenzy Fist once again hit Wu Jindao. He did not expect Lin Yi's martial arts to be continuous. He did not give him a chance to communicate with the spirit wolf at all. Wu Jindao once again vomited a large mouthful of blood. His face was a little pale. Just as he was about to say something, he realized that Lin Yi's fist was attacking again. Wu Jindao was shocked. He quickly used his mental cultivation to activate his martial arts to resist. The third form of Frenzy Fist against the third form of Wild Wolf Fist. Wu Jindao was naturally at a disadvantage. The Wild Wolf Fist was not as superior as the Frenzy Fist. This martial arts technique would only be at its greatest power when used in conjunction with the spirit beast. Moreover, Lin Yi's frenzy fist was cultivated to the extreme. Wu Jindao was once again pushed back. He vomited a few mouthfuls of blood and could not speak. In fact, even though Wu Jindao was in a miserable state, Lin Yi was not much better. The spirit wolf was like a dead man. It continuously attacked Lin Yi's back. Lin Yi's spine was almost broken by it. If it was not for Lin Yi gritting his teeth and holding on, he would probably be in a terrible situation. The fourth form of frenzy fist. Wu Jindao saw that Lin Yi did not stop and actually activated an even stronger martial arts technique. A hint of fear flashed through his eyes. The fear of death caused him to instantly explode with a shocking potential. He ordered the spirit wolf, "Use your strongest move, human-beast unification." Wu Jindao could not care about letting the spirit wolf attack Han Xiaopa. He had a feeling that if Lin Yi's move hit him again, he might not live to see tomorrow's sun. Therefore, he summoned the spirit wolf and sacrificed both his and the spirit wolf's cultivation to use the Qianshan sect's strongest secret technique, human-beast unification, heavenly earth wild wolf transformation. Chapter 2132. In other words, once this technique was used, Wu Jindao would become a mystic class master, and the spirit wolf would turn from a yellow class spirit beast to a normal spirit beast. As a result, this move wouldn't be used unless it was absolutely necessary. But now was the last resort, because Wu Jindao had been forced into a corner by Lin Yi, and there was nowhere to hide. Even if he wanted to escape the stage, it would be impossible. Of course, the most important thing was that he didn't want to admit defeat just like this. He had already wasted so much energy. If he admitted defeat just like this, then it would be a huge joke. Plus, he had already said those crazy words before. He couldn't afford to lose face like this. Hence, he was willing to sacrifice his strength in order to kill Lin Yi in one move. Man and beast as one was the strongest secret technique of the Qian Mountain sect, combining the power of man and beast together, bringing it to the extreme. Right now, the spirit wolf's attack power was no less than that of a peak late phase earth class practitioner. If he added his golden knife, it would be equivalent to a peak late phase earth class practitioner and a peak early phase earth class practitioner. This was a completely different thing from two practitioners attacking at the same time. This was the superposition of Zhen Qi, which could instantly reach the power of a peak early phase heaven class practitioner. Because of this technique was hailed as a secret technique by the Qian Mountain sect, and it wouldn't be used easily, only at critical moments. Wu Jindao didn't believe that Lin Yi could survive this technique. Even if he was lucky enough not to die, his meridians and bones would be broken, he would become a cripple, even a third-level pill wouldn't be able to save him. So he made up his mind to use this ultimate technique. Hearing Wu Jindao's call, the spirit wolf stopped attacking Lin Yi, but suddenly jumped up, jumping on top of Wu Jindao's head, letting out a sharp wolf howl. Wu Jindao's mouth was also silently chanting a mantra. This man and wolf suddenly flashed a golden light, then became incomparably red, as if they were being reflected by the setting sun. Human and beast as one, world wild wolf transformation. Following Wu Jindao's roar, his eyes flashed with a strange green light. His entire body seemed to have turned into a fiery red giant wolf. He clasped his hands together and raised them high above his head, perfectly placing them on the spirit wolf's head. Then, as though he was accumulating strength, he quickly smashed towards Lin Yi. Frenzy fist, fourth form. Lin Yi was also like an arrow on a bowstring that had to be released. Although he smelled a hint of danger, Lin Yi could only bite the bullet and go forward. If Lin Yi dodged at that moment, then the power of Wu Jin Saber's move would very likely affect Han Xiaopa, who was not far away. If he was one step earlier, even if he was one step faster, this wouldn't be the outcome today. Could it be that this match was destined to end in mutual destruction? Wu Jindao was not willing. He was not willing. It was as if he had returned to his childhood, relying on the spirit wolf as companions, torturing his opponents under his feet again and again, becoming the spirit wolf's food. But all of this had become so close yet so far away. He used the last of his strength to open his eyes, wanting to look at his old companion, but all he saw was a headless spirit wolf. The spirit wolf's body had already been destroyed by Lin Yi's fourth style of frenzy fist. A spirit beast without a rank was no longer a spirit beast. It was just a normal animal that had the qualifications to level up to become a spirit beast. So, under the tyranny of Lin Yi's fourth style of Frenzy Fist, it had already become a dead wolf. The biggest use of Human-Beast Unite was to single-handedly kill the opponent, and not to fight head-on with the opponent. Wu Jindao remembered what his master had told him before. When using Human-Beast Unite, he had to be careful not to fight head-on with the enemy, because that would be mutual destruction. Chapter 2133. But now he remembered everything. He felt that his body was very, very light, and the burning sensation in his internal organs was also getting weaker and weaker. It was as if he had once again returned to the bloody era when he brought the spirit wolf to sweep through his opponents and let the spirit wolf devour the corpses of his opponents. Wu Jindao dead. Spirit wolf, dead without a complete corpse. Dowler. Sect Master Wu let out a mournful roar and rushed over to hug Wu Jindao's corpse. However, it was already too late. Wu Jindao was actually Sect Master Wu's nephew. He didn't have any children, so he treated his nephew as his own. He worked hard to raise him, but he never told him about this familial love. Now that Wu Jindao was dead, sect leader Wu regretted it endlessly. He shouldn't have let Wu Jindao fight against Lin Yi. If he had known that Lin Yi was so powerful, why would he have stood out? So many hidden families' disciples, were they all idiots? Zhuang Niapeo and Zhuang Niaoqiang, Pai Jishan and Pai Jihai, were they all idiots? Why did they admit defeat? Wasn't it because they were afraid that Lin Yi wouldn't be able to beat Lin Yi? And his nephew Wu Jindao was able to beat him? Lin Yi, this old man swears that I will kill you. Sect leader Wu looked at the arena and said through gritted teeth, in the arena, Lin Yi didn't have it easy either. After falling heavily to the ground, he realized that he had underestimated the power of Wu Jindao's human-beast unity. That move was even more powerful than the initial stage heaven-rank powerhouse's attack from the previous match. Lin Yi felt his bones, meridians and organs all shatter. He had to admit that Wu Jindao was the most dangerous opponent he had encountered since entering Earth Class. Whether it was Blue Hair, Right 13 or the Earth Class man in black, none of them made Lin Yi feel so defeated. Although the battle with Wu Jindao looked simple and not complicated, it was still frightening. Right now, Lin Yi was using his true chi to keep himself alive. If it were any other practitioner, they would have died the moment their true chi ran out. Fortunately, Lin Yi had the art of dragon mastery, a heaven-defying technique that could heal himself. Therefore, after Lin Yi fell to the ground, he didn't rush to get up. Instead, he activated the second stage of the art of dragon mastery and quickly healed his internal injuries. Fortunately, Lin Yi left some true chi in his body. Otherwise, even if his injuries slowly healed, his meridians wouldn't be able to heal. It would be the same result as when he fought with Maju. Han Xiaopa also wanted to go and see Lin Yi, but old Master Han stopped her with a wave of his hand. He shook his head slightly. If Lin Yi was still alive and was recuperating, then it was best not to touch him. If he was already dead, then there was no point in going. They had to consider the future of the hidden Han family. However, Han Xiaopa was still very worried as he walked to Lin Yi's side. However, when he saw that Lin Yi was still alive, he was relieved. Wu Jindao, Lin Yi, can you still stand up? Old Master Zhao saw that there was no movement in the arena. He didn't know if Lin Yi was dead, so he asked, if both sides perished, then both sides would be losers in this match. In old Master Zhao's heart, he wanted Lin Yi to die. If Lin Yi died, then there was no need to compete in the last match. It would be clean. As for Wu Jindao, old Master Zhao didn't have any thoughts about it. If he died, then so be it. It had nothing to do with his hidden Zhao family anyway. My boss is recuperating. Die my A***s. Han Xiaopa said angrily, can't you see that he is still breathing? Hurry up and announce the winner. Lin Yi had just repaired the damaged bones in his body. He could barely sit up. He sat cross-legged on the arena, his eyes still closed as he quickly chanted the mantra to heal himself. His injuries were too serious at the moment. Lin Yi had to be treated as soon as possible. There was no time to waste. Did you see that? My boss has risen. Han Xiaopa was overjoyed. He continued, even if that Wu Jindao is still alive, his spirit wolf is dead. Moreover, we knocked him off the stage. Boss and I are still in the arena. When old Master Zhao saw that Lin Yi wasn't dead, a trace of disappointment flashed across his eyes. However, he still followed the rules and announced, the final champion of the two-man arena challenge is the hidden Han family, Qianshan Gate. Old Master Zhao looked at Gate Master Wu with a questioning gaze. If Wu Jindao didn't die and only one of his spirit beasts died, then he could still be the second place in the match. However, if both of them died, then it would be considered as a forfeit. Lin Yi, I'm going to kill you. It would have been better if old Master Zhao didn't mention it. Now that he asked, Gate Master Wu was enraged. Looking at Lin Yi on the arena, his eyes were spewing fire. He let out a weird cry and wanted to jump onto the arena to kill Lin Yi. Gate Master Wu, don't be rash. Old Master Yu, who was next to Gate Master Wu, pulled him back and whispered, if you want to take revenge, you can't do it now. The Hidden Family Summit has always been watched by the ancient people. Fists and kicks have no eyes in the arena. Life and death are fated by fate. If Gate Master Wu makes a move, then you'll be breaking the rules. Phew, Gate Master Wu calmed down after hearing Old Master Yu's words. He nodded and said, then I'll let that little bastard Lin Yi live for a while. In the afternoon's additional match, I'll definitely kill him. That's right. If we kill him during the match, no one will be able to find fault with it. Old Master Yu nodded. Old Master Zhao, my disciple Wu Jindao has already? Gate Master Wu sighed, the Qin Mountain Gate will withdraw from this battle. Old Master Zhao nodded and announced the results. The Qin Mountain Gate will withdraw from the third-place match between the Hidden House Zhuang and the Hidden House Yu will be upgraded to the second and third-place match. On this side, since Old Master Zhao had announced the withdrawal of the Qin Mountain Gate, the Hidden House Yu and the Hidden House Zhuang naturally changed from a life-and-death battle to a slow sparring session. The disciples of the Hidden House Yu saw that the two Zhuang brothers were indeed strong, so they didn't want to continue fighting. They cupped their fists and said, the two Zhuang brothers are indeed famous. We admit defeat. At this time the second and third place were almost the same. Who would be willing to fight for this? Lin Yi took first place and completely messed up the internal order. Since they couldn't get first place, second and third place were almost the same. Yi, thank you for letting me win. Zhuang Niaoqiang cupped his fists and said. He actually didn't want to fight anymore. The Hidden House Zhuang and the Hidden House Yu didn't have any personal grudges. There was no need for the two houses to fight. If the Hidden House Yu didn't admit defeat, Zhuang Niaoqiang wanted to admit defeat as well. After all, the second and third place had already become Lin Yi's background. They didn't have the glory of being in the top 3 of the previous Hidden House Summit. Chapter 2134. Everyone's only thought was that the meeting should end as soon as possible, so that they wouldn't embarrass themselves. Second place is the Hidden House Zhuang, third place is the Hidden House Yu. Elder Zhao said, the houses after fourth place have a chance to challenge each other. Is there anyone who wants to challenge? This challenge made the two brothers of House Pai's hearts skip a beat. Now that Lin Yi was injured, if they challenged the first place, would they win? Or would Lin Yi be injured and surrender? Thinking of this, Pai Zhishan looked up at old Pai. Elder Pai knew what Zhishan was thinking from his eyes. He sighed and shook his head. Zhishan, our Hidden House Pai is weak and we can't handle this. From what I see, I'm not a match for that Lin Yi. If Lin Yi surrenders now and takes revenge later, our Hidden House Pai will be finished. Yes, Grandpa, I was too impulsive. Zhishan's heart skipped a beat, thinking of this possibility. Yes, Lin Yi might surrender now, but that moment of happiness would bring about the destruction of their house. Looking at the spirit wolf and Wu Jindao's state, Zhishan didn't doubt that Lin Yi could destroy their Hidden House Pai. Just his grandpa, a sky-class early-phase physical practitioner, wouldn't be able to stop Lin Yi's power. Enemies don't have to be enemies forever. He doesn't have any family feud with House Pai. Our House Pai only lost some normal disciples and distant relatives. Elder Pai said faintly, look at the Hidden House Yu. Their chi-gathering pill was stolen, and the common House Yu was destroyed. Aren't they enduring it too? Yes. Zhishan nodded but then thought of something else. He lowered his voice, that Lin Yi, can he last past the extra round in the afternoon? Would the Gan Mountain Sexwa Master let Lin Yi go back alive? Even if we win against Lin Yi, we still need Lin Yi's life to take revenge, right? Zhishan, if you want to be the head of the family, you need to have a long-term and cautious vision. You can't be arrogant and you can't do risky things. Don't touch anything that might cause the family to be doomed eternally. Elder Pai said, our Hidden House Pai isn't the strongest hidden house, but we're the most stable. Why is that? This is because we seek development through stability, different from those clans that seek wealth through danger. Before, when Lin Yi's lackey killed Jin Wudi, you made the right decision to rush back to the family. But today, why did you let the stakes get to your head? This. Pai Jishan's forehead was covered in cold sweat. Yes, these few days he was really driven mad by the bet. Look, before any match who would be optimistic about Lin Yi? But the result? Elder Pai said, what's the point of the bet? As long as our hidden house Pai doesn't fall, we can still find it slowly. But once we offend that Lin Yi, do you think we'll stop? Even if Lin Yi dies and his lackey comes to beat us up, who can take it? Yes. Lin Yi was in the jade space, but he knew what was going on outside. He knew what these people were thinking, so he didn't dare to be careless. He quickly used the art of dragon mastery to heal himself. His injuries were too serious this time. There wasn't a single part of his body that wasn't injured. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.